Welcome to Rogue Media Network. You have a vision, and we can help you broadcast it. With over 150 podcasts distributed locally, nationally, and internationally, we pride ourselves in delivering high-quality professional content that's filled with humor, information, and entertainment. Are you an avid podcast listener? Discover relatable and reliable shows that cater to a plethora of tastes and interests. From enlightening discussions to lighthearted banter, there's something for everyone. And here's the best part. You can start your own show with Rogue Media Network. We specialize in providing a platform to amplify diverse voices and perspectives, making sure everyone gets a chance to be heard. So why wait? Tune into our podcast and explore a world of ideas and stories, or step up and let the world hear yours. Call us today at 254-300-7982. Visit us at roguemedianetwork.com or send us an email at hello@roguemedianetwork.com. Join the podcast revolution with Rogue Media Network today.
Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
You're now listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where three friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents.
Yes! Oh, that was good.
Oh,
Yes!
welcome everybody. That isn't Kenyon talking. Who is it?
Sorry, guys. I know that was very. I was throwing you guys off. I know I was really deep in character. This is not Kenyon. This is Alvin from the Affirmative Murder Podcast. So happy to be here.
Woo!
Yes, Alvin. And this is our first guest post-Kenyon.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, she's
alive.
fine. Yeah.
Is she? Has anyone checked on her?
Has anyone heard
Cannot
from her?
confirm.
No,
I cannot confirm.
She did the Wordle this morning.
Oh, yes, she
Boom.
did the
Then
word.
that's-
She's
yeah,
alive.
Of course. Then we
She's
cleared it
just
up.
not well.
That's the only information we have. She's cognitively able to do the Wordle.
Yes.
But she's
Those are
on
hard.
like super bed rest, and her recording studio is 800 stairs up in her like belfry in her house
With all the bats.
with
It's
all
against
the
doctor's
bats.
orders. That's against doctor's orders for sure.
So yeah, she's not with us today, but she's with us in spirit. And
Spirit.
so you know,
I will try to channel her as well.
Yeah, you got this.
She's gonna,
I'll try.
her spirit will infect you.
Yes.
You'll want to go to
You'll
the
feel
doctor.
it.
Yeah.
Submit your bill.
Kenyonitis.
Yeah.
Canyonitis.
There's a long and arduous treatment process for
Kenyonitis.
Kenyonitis.
It starts with a tingling in your back.
Oh God. I'm a
tips of your
hypochondriac, so
hair
don't
might-
start saying. If you start saying symptoms, I'm going to feel them right
Your
now.
hair
so.
might start turning blonde.
Yeah, you're gonna be a blonde before you know
There's
it.
like a throat. Is there like a throat thing? Is it throat? Is there
There's
throaty?
there's a throat
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
where-
It's
All
a
right.
total inability
Oh my
to
God,
sing.
she's present. Oh my God, she's present.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, she's present. Oh my
all
God.
of a sudden you'll be
She's here.
completely tone deaf,
Cannot carry a tune.
but like extremely funny and be able to recall really weird random facts about true crime stuff specifically, and also like ancient European history.
Yeah.
Or 90s trivia.
Or 90s trivia.
Okay.
That's more Amandanitis.
Okay. I think I've got some kind of cross. I got like a cross pollination thing
There's
going on.
comorbidities happening.
Yeah. We got some comorbs.
The entire like text of gun germs and seal is just going to be downloaded into your brain. Just wait for
If
it.
you caught Lucyitis, it would be the entire text of The Hot Zone, the scariest
DSM.
book, the DSM-5.
The DSM-5.
Yeah. I know everything about mental disorders all of a sudden.
Yeah, it'll be great. So thank you so much for being here. And
Happy to be here.
We can introduce ourselves as well, I guess. That's part of what we do. Go ahead, Lucy.
If you
Oh
insist.
yeah, I'm Lucy.
I'm Amanda, and you are in the right place. This is the Wine and Cry podcast.
Yes. Well, they should know that I did such a good job with my Kenyan impersonation right up top. They knew.
Yeah.
They knew where they
crushed
were.
it. You crushed it.
Thanks, guys.
People
Hey,
were
I'm humble. Let's not do that. Okay?
People were shocked when you were like, "I'm Alvin," and they're like,
Yeah.
I know.
What?
I can
Guys,
hear,
I don't want to linger on it. I took a lot of, ventriloquism classes, and I don't want to really let's not make it about me. Let's kind of just move forward. I know it was an awesome impersonation, and I don't want to really let's not do that.
Let's not trigger all of the attendees of our St. Paul live show by talking about ventriloquism, because I
Did you bring some kind of weird doll to the show?
Yes,
I did.
of
I
course
did a
she
ventriloquist
did.
act, and also Kenyon couldn't be there for the show, so Lucy and I did it solo, and we both independently, without consulting each other, were like, well, Kenyon's not here. We got to cover something really dark. And so both of our cases were fucking
We're really bad.
horrific, like the darkest shit we've ever
And you
covered.
and you had a puppet up on stage as
And
well?
I had a puppet on stage.
We
and
had
my
to bring
case,
the levity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
okay,
case
yes, of
had to
course.
do with like a cannibal ventriloquist
CSAM.
child molester.
Oh, God.
You guys, it was really mistakes were made. It was bad. I think maybe people left.
Yeah.
People definitely left. When we took the selfie at the end, I was like, wow, there were way more people in here before Amanda's case.
I drove them out.
What better time to... Let's go ahead and plug that next show. When's that next live show that get
Yeah.
people excited? Yeah, let's do it right now.
Weirdly enough, there is not another live show scheduled.
Ever again. Indefinitely.
I hope you all liked
We've
it.
been canceled.
And we are
Might have
banned.
been our last. We might have
And
been
you
canceled.
guys are banned from St. Paul, Minnesota as well.
Which is fucking fine by me because St. Paul sucks.
But the Fitzgerald Theater was perfect.
Stunning and amazing. St. Paul can eat my ass. But anyway, Lucy, do you want to take Kenyon's job in this moment to just introduce the topic?
I would absolutely love to. So today we have a very special fan pick by fan picker Abby Townsend. Thank you, Abby, for your wonderful idea, which was the topic of family secrets.
I love it.
Yeah.
dubious.
Great topic. Yeah.
It took everything in my power not to just not cover a case at all and instead just read the Reddit thread I found where people were just sharing their family secrets that they like found out on somebody's
Ooh.
deathbed.
Juicy.
So it's its own podcast. There's a podcast called Family Secrets where people like guest and talk about like how they found out about their family secrets. And
That's fucking cool.
I did have this
That is really cool.
in my segment, but I'm just going to say it right now. So it's a podcast by Danny Shapiro, and she also wrote a book called Inheritance,
Ooh,
which
creepy.
I ordered off of bookshop.org earlier today because it sounded really fucking good. It's basically about how she discovered that her father wasn't actually her father and like the fallout.
This sounds like Jeanette McCurdy's book from iCarly. I'm glad my mom's dead.
What?
Man, what a read. You want to talk about family secrets? Man, must read. Highly recommend.
Okay.
Highly recommend.
Well, hi.
recommend.
Everyone's family has secrets. Like
Yeah. I mean, mine are really boring.
mine
I don't have
are.
any like good family secrets. Like after our dad died, my sister and I, we grieved for like 20 minutes and then we like put his email in the Ashley Madison hack
Yes,
website
you
to like
did.
see if we had a secret family, and fucking no. My dad was like so loyal, like boringly loyal.
Boring, normal,
So disappointing.
regular drama.
Yeah.
The
I mean-
regular lack of drama.
I would say, I mean, it's like you don't know until you say, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like my brother and I have the exact same name because my dad was
You're
a
both named
Rolling Stone.
Alvin?
We're both named Alvin Jerome Williams, and
I love it.
he's the fourth, and I'm the third.
Wow.
And it
Really?
just yeah, see it right now. It's like I just have become it's become normal to me, but
Yeah.
it is weird. I know that it's weird, but it's
I love it.
hey man, it's life, you know, just living, you know, just living life.
Do you both
family
go by
family
Alvin?
barbecue. Well, my grandmother refuses to call him Alvin, so she calls him Cold Cut because he looked like a cold cut sandwich when he was born or when he was a baby. So she refuses to call him that, so she calls him Cold Cut. And
Cold cut.
Oh
and I'm
my
AJ.
God.
So I like to think my dad maybe just forgot that my name was Alvin, and
It's cool.
he was like, "That's AJ." So I'll just name this one Alvin, and that's all good.
And your
I
mom
love
was
it.
just like, yeah, whatever.
My mom was furious. That was not had nothing to do with my mom. I'm my mom's only child. She's
Yep.
like, "You gave my son's name to somebody. How dare you?"
Yep.
So yeah, I guess that is dramatic. Okay, well we can move on.
Perfect.
You're getting
Let's
us,
move on
You're
from
getting
it,
us
you know?
beautifully warmed up.
Yeah. We'll get into some deeper shit. I am confident.
Yep. But before we do have a wine crime pairing today, which, full disclosure, I don't have. And I'll explain why I don't have it.
Okay.
But it isn't for lack of trying. But this was recommended by our fan picker, Abby Townsend. And I fucking love this recommendation. She literally said the Meiomi Pinot Noir because it, quote, sounds like mommy.
Meiomi.
Meiomi.
Meiomi. Meiomi.
That's a cat mom. I'm a Meiomi.
I'm a
I'm a
Meiomi.
Meiomi.
And I do not have it because I tried to get it locally and I couldn't find it. So
Did you try
I went to Total Wine.
PetSmart?
I didn't try PetSmart. That's where I fucked up.
Yeah.
I tried
Rookie
Total
mistake.
Wine and I tried
Classic.
my local liquor store. Which one? I don't know. I have like 2. I tried 2 different stores and I was like, that's plenty. Oh, I need to get off my scooter and go home.
Yeah.
And so I am actually currently settling into 10 milligrams of the newly legalized Delta 9 THC here in Minnesota.
Nice.
That sounds insidious.
You
are about to. That sounds like
big
you're about to have
fan.
a night.
Yeah, I
A
have
big
some
fan.
right here, actually.
Yeah, I gave you some.
Mm-hmm.
I gave you some.
Some of this.
Delta 9. Ooh,
Delta
Delta
9.
9. Oh,
Yep.
it's in a black bag too.
This is Delta 8, but
Those
Oh,
are
man.
eights.
You had to take it down a notch.
these are 8s. I have some 9s here somewhere.
It's all good.
It's fine.
Numbers.
I don't want to overstep, but I do have something here. I would love to pop it.
Will you?
I don't know if I ever get the chance again.
If you feel
You-
comfortable, you do it.
Absolutely should. Before you do, I'm just going to shout out this Meiomi wine company, which I went to their website, meiomi.com, and you can order stuff online and you can become a subscriber, I guess, and get like it's sort of like member pricing. So this bottle, I believe, retails at full price for like $22. It's gorgeous. It is a California Pinot Noir. It's nice and like complex. It has like all this beautiful depth. It's nice and medium to kind of lighter bodied, like Pinot Noirs typically are. They aged this one for 6 months in French oak. It is like full of juicy strawberry on the front end, that like dark berry, and then it kind of finishes with sort of a toasted mocha. So it
It'd be
doesn't
really nice if you had some.
I know. It
That's
sounds
such a great
fucking
description.
awesome.
I want it so bad
Sounds
now.
straight up
Super
your
want it.
alley.
like
Meiomi,
it
sorry.
sounds like if you put strawberries on s'mores,
Oh,
Oh,
which is
intriguing.
that's the move. And my friend Katie Howard, shout out to Katie Howard, that's like her special s'more recipe, and it is so fucking good.
Wow, strawberry s'more.
But yeah, so it sounds like a beautiful wine. It's 100% Pinot Noir from California. It sits like right in the middle of dry and sweet. So it's
Ooh.
really just like a super food friendly wine. It's not going to like completely blast out your palate. It's going to be like nice and soft. I am obsessed. And now that I know I can order it online, I will order it and stop trying to get it. Wasting scooter gas.
Yeah, you're wasting your your scooter gas.
My
You're burning
scooter
up that scooter gas.
Scooter oil.
looks
Well,
like
what are-
Alvin has something ready to pop.
What,
I
yeah,
love
what
it.
are you rocking
I
here?
do. Okay. This is called Sweet Heat. It's a mead from the Capitol Hive Meadery in Virginia. It is
Whoa.
pineapple mango with habanero.
Shut the
Whoa.
fuck up. That's
You're
Yeah,
gonna get
shout
so
out-
good.
spicy butt snakes later.
Oh, it's gonna. I'm gonna get. Yeah,
butt
I'm gonna get.
snakes.
Yeah, I'm gonna get spicy butt snakes like a mofo.
Okay.
Now, okay. Also, shout out to Capitol Hive Meadery. They make great mead. The guy there that makes the mead is an evil genius. He just is like, I had some cotton candy grapes yesterday. I'm gonna make cotton candy grape mead.
Fucking yum.
Cheesecake, all kind of things. And like I said, this is a pineapple mango with habanero. So, okay. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay.
Oh, fucking nice
pop.
bro.
Oh my God, it was a nice pop.
That was a
Gorgeous.
Oh, I'm so
great
excited
pop.
now.
Hell
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God.
have our editor John save that pop clip for future
Seriously.
episodes where I don't have a pop and he needs to just put one in.
Sound clip.
God
Let's.
bless.
Can I just say,
Yeah,
thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so glad you're here.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's fucking
Okay.
do this.
Alvin and I haven't partied on the internet together since fucking Down by the Creek was still a thing.
It's been a while.
Oh, down by the
Oh, well,
creek.
wait, I guess I did an
I
interview
forgot
piece
about
with you.
that.
I did Inside the Podcaster Studio with you post
You did.
Down by the Creek, but
You did. We got real.
yeah, full disclosure, Down by the Creek is my favorite podcast in the world. Okay, Lucy,
Hot damn.
what is our background in psych for family secrets?
Okay, well, I wanted to shake what I have in front of me, but I do have psych, but I'm going to shake it anyway because it is a ramekin full of Skittles.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say
That's like-
teeth.
It sounds like
That's a nice sound.
I know,
Yeah.
but I do have
nice
psych.
clink.
Okay. Yeah, Lucy usually will shake a jar of bones if there isn't actually any psych in her segment.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows how much I'm soothed by it and didn't want to not shake anything for me.
How about
Thank
this?
you for
I
going
do
PG.
have my Amanda's favorite jar. These are snake ribs, so I'm gonna shake them for you
Listen to
anyway.
this.
Snakes have ribs.
Yeah, baby.
Of
A lot of
course,
them.
a lot of them.
They're like, oops, all
enough
ribs.
to jingle in a bottle.
Oops,
Fucking
all ribs.
Oops, all ribs. They're
Oh my
basically a
God.
spine and ribs, and that's it.
All right, this is for you, Amanda.
Oh, it's got a different.
Is that not the most
yeah.
like delicate and soothing little
different
rattle
note.
you've
It's a
ever
different
heard?
note.
It's a little tinkle.
Oh yeah, a
It's a
rattle,
tinkle.
an Addams Family rattle for sure. Yeah.
Yes,
It's good.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh my God. If I ever have children, I'm gonna make them a rattle out
Of
with
ribs,
with
snake ribs.
teeth inside. I bet.
Oh, God.
Like children's teeth. Oh, when they start
joy.
losing their teeth, well,
They'll
then
put
they'll
their
be
own
too old
teeth
for a
in-
rattle.
Sadistic. You're describing sadistic things with such a smile on your face too.
I'm workshopping it. Oh yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
very put off by this.
I'm put on. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so family secrets. First, I found a research paper by Anita L. Vangelisti from the University of Texas at Austin about family secrets. Obviously, I wasn't going to pay money to download the whole paper.
so I read the abstract.
well, this
Read the
is
Cliff Notes.
This is the abstract.
I knew it. You always get the abstract for free.
Of course.
Yeah.
Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Always.
So this abstract reads, what types of information do families keep secret? What are the functions that family members perceive secrets to serve? Is secrecy associated with family satisfaction? 2 studies were conducted to examine such issues. The first study revealed that family secrets fall into 3 categories: taboos, rule violations, and conventional secrets.
Okay, so like a cousin, not my cousin specifically, but like a cousin who spent some time in jail for an unsavory thing, that might be the family secret. Like we don't talk about Bruno.
Yes.
Exactly. Or
Okay.
like maybe a family member in a very conservative family came out as like transgender. It's
Okay.
like we don't
Yes.
talk about cousin
Bruno.
Yes.
Yeah, Bruno.
Or Tabitha always buys the potato salad, but we pretend she makes it herself. That's more of a conventional secret. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
I did that in a relationship many moons ago where I bought chicken salad and passed it off as my own because he loved chicken salad and I didn't want to learn how to make it. But that
How
guy
much
ended up
could a-
being a fucking asshole. So
How much could a person love chicken salad if they don't know it's store bought?
You know,
You know.
yeah, that's on him.
Chicken salad. The thing that makes chicken salad the best is when it's made with love. You know, you buy it from the store. You don't know. You don't. You just think you love chicken salad.
when it's made with love
Fair.
and also curry.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
yes.
I love a curried chicken salad.
Curry
oh my
chicken
god.
salad.
All right, let's wrap
That's
this up
what
so I can eat.
that's what Shad had at that place in Excelsior.
Yum. That's right.
Mhm. Yeah. So
Bull
good.
and Wren.
Bull and
Yes.
Wren. Shout out. Anyway.
Resplendent.
Also grapes. I'm sorry. There, I said it. I like a chicken salad. with
In
grapes.
chicken salad?
Yeah.
Yeah, halved grapes. But I'm also from
Yeah, all right.
Minnesota. I feel like we put halved grapes in a lot of shit.
Hey,
Well-
man, live life. You know, that's what I say.
Fresh grapes in chicken salad, fine, but we are not a raisins in potato salad family.
No.
I had already started to make the graph, and I just assumed that. I'm
saw-
glad you cleared that up.
No.
I was
You
like,
looked
you know,
like
hey,
the
all right.
Fresh
meme of
grapes.
that. You looked like the meme of the lady
this?
with all the math floating around her, and I was like, I know what he's thinking.
Butterfly
Raisins
in
and
the
potato
sky.
salad.
We do not put raisins in our potato salad. I
Ambro-
promise
am-
you that.
Ambrosia salad.
Oh.
I started making all the connections. Like, yeah, okay, I see what's going on here.
All right,
Okay, yes.
Don't get ahead of yourself. So moving on with this abstract. Functions of secrets involve bonding, evaluation, maintenance, privacy, defense, or communication problems. In the second study, the number of secrets that family members perceived their family to hold in comparison with other families was inversely correlated with family satisfaction. So if you feel like your family is just a big pile of shitty secrets, then
Your
You
satisfaction is low.
yeah, low satisfaction.
Okay.
Mm.
That makes sense.
In addition,
Also,
For the
like, the
blissful
manipu-
ignorance, I prefer.
Yeah.
yes,
The manipulation of having a family secret and like who you share that secret with and how that fucks with family dynamics. I didn't even like think about that until you were reading this abstract.
Mhm.
So
Wait,
sketchy.
you knew?
Yeah.
That's hurtful.
Yeah.
That's hurtful.
In addition, individuals' perception that some of their family members held secrets concerning taboo topics from other members was negatively related to satisfaction. So it's like if you know that like your dad's a fucking liar, that your dad's lying to your mom, for example, like icky. We don't like that.
Yeah. Not good.
Overall, results suggest that the association between secrecy and family satisfaction is influenced by the form, topic, and function of the secret itself.
Makes sense.
So that's just a little intro, little academic intro to what we're talking about. So
I'm into it.
clearly, I was not sure what to cover for today's topic, so I found something that is interesting to me anyway.
Great.
And also somewhat related, and no, it's not teratomas. I wish I could cover that
Fine.
again.
Grape.
I blew my teratoma load. Grape!
Sounds great.
I blew my teratoma load on sports ball crimes, and
She didn't want to talk about sports, so she just talked about teratomas for her whole segment.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my
You know
God.
what a teratoma is?
No, what is that?
So you know like when you're like in the womb or like
Remember that?
upon
Yes.
fertilization,
Mhm.
maybe there was like a double fertilization like resulting in twins, but
Gotcha.
but one fetus absorbed
Resorbed.
the other one.
Oh, yes.
So then
yes. Okay, yes.
They can like later in life find pockets of like hair and teeth and blah blah blah.
That's what Elvis said happened to him.
Yeah.
Or his family says happened to him. That's
Really?
what made him such a
In utero twin left traces.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's what
Obsessed.
a teratoma is.
Mm.
Also, we make the joke about homunculus Wagner a lot, and a
I want to name a dog Homunculus Wagner.
a homunculus.
That's a great name.
I think it's either Greek or Latin, but it just means tiny person.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, my
like-
shoes started floating when you said that. I don't know why.
Oh,
It's a very magical name.
Oh
that
my
you just said.
God!
Yeah.
Well, that's what a homunculus is. So that's
Homunculus Wagner.
homunculus Wagner.
Esquire.
Homunculus Homunculus J. Wagner, Esquire.
Esquire.
DDS.
The third. DDS.
Okay, so like we were talking about, I feel like every family has secrets, whether it's within your nuclear family or your extended family. And if you don't think so, maybe you just don't know about it yet.
Mhm.
These are the privileges that come with adulthood. Like adults start talking shit with you.
Yeah. Now that you can get drunk with your parents, aunts, and uncles, you got to get all the tea.
Absolutely.
You think you want the tea, and then you get the tea, and you're like,
I regret the tea.
I don't want this tea anymore.
I want to send this tea back.
And
you
then
can't
you,
put the you can't put the tea back in the bag.
yeah,
you know?
then you have an
can't.
inverse satisfaction with your family dynamics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe there was something to do with physical or sexual abuse, infidelity, substance abuse, addiction, maybe an unwanted pregnancy. So like there's like an aunt out there that you don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Lies.
Or your sister's your mom.
Yeah.
I see that a lot
Or-
in TV, and it happens in real life as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
it does.
Or like if you're your own grandpa.
Oh, a la Back to the Future. Yes, Marty McFly.
Oh, or just
Yes.
the song.
I'm
I'm my own
Oh,
grandpa.
grandpa.
What song is that?
It's a really old Disney song from an era we probably should never discuss.
I don't
But
think it's Disney.
it
The
is
Country-
because it
Country
was
Bear
on
song?
it was on like an old Disney CD that I used to have. That's
Oh,
why I know it.
God. I
I'll
just
find
I had
it.
like a children's song.
I'm
I'll
my
send
own
you the
grandpa.
link. I
Yeah.
got you.
The lyrics explain everything you need to know.
Oh, it breaks it down. It's like, I was in a time machine, and then I became my own grandpa. I know the song. I do know the
Yeah,
song.
exactly.
I know. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
I had to
you-
just do a couple
you
lines.
know all of the words. Yeah, you
I
got
had to
it.
do a couple lines. I caught it.
So maybe there's like lies and murder, etc. It's like shit happens. Shit happens. Shit happens to people in general, and everyone is part of a family. Shit happens.
Of lies. It happens. What?
Yeah.
Shit. Shit.
It's what it's.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
It's what it's. So secrets often revolve around shame, and shame is linked to trauma, or as Jamie Lee Curtis would say, trauma.
Oh, trauma.
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 According to the Washington Post, it's estimated that more than 2/3 of children experience at least one traumatic event before the age of 16. Ugh. Abuse, violence, national disasters, aka the Trump presidency, severe illness, and neglect are examples of trauma that researchers think could play a role in how future generations respond to their surroundings.
Fucking COVID.
Yeah, just it. I mean,
I'm telling you right now. I've
We
said
haven't
it.
even seen the effects of that yet.
I know. I've said it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. We're going to see an uptick in serial killers in the next 50 years. From
Probably.
this COVID generation.
kids aren't socialized. I mean,
Yep.
And
something's off.
And just because a big population experiences it does not negate the to what degree the negative effects could be felt. You know what I mean?
For sure. Individual experiences too, you know? Yeah, you know, it's like, we all experienced it. We all can say, oh, we all had to stay in the house, but I don't know what was happening in your house while you had to stay in the house.
And there are like so many families where there's already like trauma or violence in the household, and then everybody has to stay home for a long period of time.
No money.
So I know that
money, financial things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was, I know that we saw reports of like cases of intimate partner violence and abuse within the home did increase in those like real lockdown times. So the trauma
first few months.
Yeah. The trauma is not even just from like the collective experience of COVID. It's from all the fucking effects that trickle down, for lack of a better term, because of it. It's messy.
Yep. But also, like, just because COVID affected the entire planet, that doesn't dilute the intensity that we felt on a personal level, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Same ocean, different boats.
Yep.
Yes, indubitably.
So this all just got me wondering, like, I've heard about generational trauma and how it affects, like, physiologically. So I wanted to kind of explore that sort of from a scientific standpoint. So it's not specifically about family secrets, but I feel like it's related. So that's what I will be telling you about today.
Here for it.
So this is from the BBC. In 1864, nearing the end of the U.S. Civil War, conditions in the Confederate prisoner of war camps were at their worst.
So like the camps where Confederate soldiers were keeping Union soldiers, or where Union soldiers were keeping Confederate soldiers? Because I feel a lot worse for one half of that population.
I'm pretty sure it's the worst part. I'm pretty sure they are Confederate camps for Union soldiers.
Okay.
But that wasn't made super clear. It almost doesn't matter. It's a POW camp.
Right.
There was such overcrowding in some camps that the prisoners, Union Army soldiers from the North. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I read this, I swear.
You got it.
I skimmed it. Skim. So
Skims.
Each prisoner had about the square footage of a grave. So they were packed in like sardines.
6 by 6. Not even 3 by 6, maybe.
Yeah. Prisoner death rate soared. I read later, I don't think I kept this in my notes, but basically they were fed with like really small rations of corn. That's basically it. So they lost
disease alone.
Disease.
Ugh.
A lot of them died from like diarrhea and dysentery, and also just like having almost nothing to eat.
Well, all that corn, you know.
Yeah, that'll go right through you.
I mean,
Does not
I
digest.
love corn, but there's only so much nutritional value. You need a little bit of a well-rounded diet to like
There's like
thrive.
no nutritional value to corn.
Yeah, no.
It's a lot of water.
Great. It just tastes great.
Yeah, it's really good.
Also, if they didn't have butter and like salt and pepper to put on it.
Yeah, they weren't getting elote corn. They were just getting basic corn.
Yeah.
This wasn't like Mexican street corn.
Yeah.
No.
I would give that place a bad Yelp review for sure.
Yeah, this is like cattle feed corn, like pig food. So yeah, prisoner death rate soared. For those who survived, the harrowing experiences marked many of them for life. They returned to society with impaired health, worse job prospects, and shorter life expectancy. But the impact of these hardships did not stop with those who experienced it. It also had an effect on the prisoners' children and grandchildren, which appeared to be passed down the male line of families.
Interesting.
And before you ask about why not the females, we will get to it.
Okay.
Yes.
And
hold your horses.
Yes. Yeah, I'll explain the science behind this a little bit more. While their sons and grandsons had not suffered the hardships of the POW camps, and if anything, were well provided for throughout their childhoods, they suffered higher rates of mortality than the wider population. It appeared that the POWs had passed on some element of their trauma to their offspring. But unlike most inherited conditions, this was not caused by mutations to the genetic code itself. Instead, the researchers were investigating a much more obscure type of inheritance, which was how events in someone's lifetime can change the way their DNA is expressed and how that change can be passed on to the next generation. This is the process of epigenetics, where the readability or like the expression of these genes is modified without changing the DNA code itself. So if your father had, if both your parents had brown eyes, you're probably going to have brown eyes.
Right. And that will like show up in your genetic code. It's like traceable.
Yes.
But it's like, this isn't traceable in the way that it changes the presentation of your DNA.
I mean, it's traceable
same
for
way,
sure,
at
but there's different ways that these genes express themselves. So, like, for
Okay.
example, which I'll kind of get to later, how well the body produces its own insulin.
Triggered.
For example. So like you still have the gene that prompts the body to do that, but the way it expresses itself might be less effective than it should be.
Okay.
Right? Does that
Got
make
it,
sense?
yeah.
I think I'm right. Let's just go with it.
Well, and there are different types of diabetes, so that seems to apply more to like either type 2 or if you're like honeymooning and you're still producing insulin. My issue is that my immune system attacks the cells in my pancreas that create insulin, the beta cells. So they never even get a chance, like they're capable of making it, but they like don't even get a chance to do it because my immune system has
Wipes
destroyed
them
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was just one example, but like
Right,
you kind of
right.
get what I'm saying.
I totally
Sure.
get what you're saying. And this is like super fucking fascinating.
It's really cool. So tiny chemical tags are added to or removed from our DNA in response to changes in the environment in which we are living. These tags turn genes on or off, offering a way of adapting to changing conditions without inflicting a more permanent shift in our genomes.
Got it.
So it might affect how well certain hormones are functioning, but for
Yeah.
example, but it's not going to make you have blue eyes
Okay.
if both your parents have brown or whatever.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Study author Dora Costa and her colleagues studied the health records of nearly 4,600 children whose fathers had been POWs, comparing them to just over 15,300 children of veterans of the war who had not been captured.
Okay.
So we're comparing POWs to just regular
regular old veterans.
Yep.
Yep.
The sons of POWs had an 11% higher mortality rate than the sons of non-POW veterans.
That's a significant percentage.
And especially with a pool that large, like 4,600 and then 15,300, it's not just a handful of people. This is a really representative pool that we're talking about.
For sure.
Other factors such as the father's socioeconomic status and the son's job and marital status couldn't account for the higher mortality rate. So they did factor in
Yeah.
certain-
outside.
Yeah, they were really looking at how the passing down of the genes affected this.
Huh.
The excess mortality was mainly due to higher rates of cerebral hemorrhage. I
Ooh.
wasn't sure what exactly that meant.
Like brain bleeding?
Yeah, it sounds like they were like predisposed to bleeding in the brain.
So does that mean like strokes and things like that?
Maybe.
Mm.
I can Google this.
Cerebral hemorrhage. But the sons of POW veterans were also slightly more likely to die from cancer.
Oh, wow.
But the daughters of former POWs appeared to be immune from these effects, which again, we're going to get to. I'm not going to discount women suffering
Hemorrhagic stroke.
from
It's a type of stroke.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, you guys.
Is it stress borne or like what is it? Like
I
I wonder what the genetic, like what's being exacerbated by the
I've heard theories that
genetics.
cancer is a result of stress.
wow.
That can definitely happen.
Yeah.
Causes include brain trauma, aneurysms, anteriovenous malformations, and brain tumors. The largest risk factors for spontaneous bleeding are high blood pressure and amyloidosis, which I don't know what that is. Other factors include alcoholism, low cholesterol, blood thinners, and cocaine use. I gotta evaluate my choices.
Oh my God.
Whatever.
But
do you
they're gonna
mean?
have to add like intergenerational trauma to this list.
Yeah.
I will update the Wikipedia page.
Yes, immediately.
Another thing, I don't know if it was this study or like the next one I'm going to talk about, but basically those researchers, the head researcher had studied PTSD in the 90s, like the early 90s. And they were like, yeah, the way the scientific community is reacting to these studies that I'm talking to right now, like really kind of suspicious, like critical, was the exact same way that people reacted to studies about PTSD in the 90s.
Right.
So 30 years from now, this might just be like, yeah, fucking duh. you have
Common knowledge.
PTSD, yeah.
I also feel like, and obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but the conversation and like understanding of generational trauma is pretty new to like the white community. But that conversation and the healing that goes along with it has been like discussed openly among BIPOC and queer communities for a long fucking time. It's just like we always are we meaning us as white folks like are always 20,000 steps behind and like real skeptical of what like everyone else has been telling us all the fuck along.
Well, in regards to like what I'm hearing now is really interesting because what Lucy's saying is like it almost can show up in a genetic test, whereas my introduction to generational trauma was like the stereotype that black people can't swim, and it's a kind of a true stereotype. But then when you go and do the research about the generational history about, public pools and, the civil rights era and people being like black people being scared away from pools. And then it's like you go home and you don't have a pool in your backyard. So you just never learn to swim. And then you have kids and the next generation. And it's just like swimming is just not something that we do.
Yeah.
And then it also comes with fear because you're like, well, we don't never see water or pools or we are all in cities. So we don't never see the ocean. And so it's like this like scary thing because it's not something that we've been acclimated to and we don't even really know why we haven't been acclimated to it. But like the idea, I don't know if that would show up in a DNA test the way that you're saying, like there's aspects of it in the things that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But like that's how I was introduced to the discussion.
I think to Amanda's point, I think that's looking at this whole concept through a very Americanized lens, because if we're talking about various famines, genocide, things like that, the things that have happened all over the world.
Yes.
It isn't necessarily correlated with race.
Yeah. Just history.
Yeah, it's just, it kind of happens all around. But to your point, yes, white people just across the border.
We're just slow on the uptake.
Yes.
And we can absolutely experience generational trauma and
do.
Even more so, we experience generational violence, and like that's also a very important cycle to end so that we're not continuing to perpetuate generational violence.
Yeah,
it's just all really fascinating when you get to a point where it's like, oh, we can see a lot of this shit literally through a scientific lens in our DNA. Stop fucking trying to say this shit isn't real. It's fucking real.
So actually my next segment sort of explains a little bit about what we're saying now. Costa says, quote, the hypothesis is that there is an epigenetic effect on the Y chromosome. That would be why it affects the male lineage. This effect is consistent with studies in remote Swedish fish villages.
Yum.
Swedish fish villages,
Fucking
yes.
yum. Where shortage in food supply had a generational effect down the male line, but not the female line.
Weird.
So this study ruled out the notion, in addition, this study ruled out the notion that the former POWs were more likely to be abusive to their sons, resulting in direct trauma. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a genetic code in our DNA.
Yep. That was showing up in folks with the Y chromosome, but not in,
Yep.
I get what you're saying. Okay.
So this article also talks about a 2013 study about mice. So I have to give a trigger warning now. Animal abuse for scientific purposes. They didn't kill them. They just tortured them.
They poked at them. Yeah. Great.
So this is from the same article. The researchers blew acetophenone, which has
acetaminophen.
This has the scent of cherry blossom.
Yum.
So they blew this through the cages of adult male mice, and then at the same time they zapped their feet with an electrical current.
So they're making them associate that scent with pain. Okay,
so,
great.
Over several repetitions, the mice associated the smell of cherry blossoms with pain. There we go. Shortly afterwards, these male mice bred with female mice. When their baby mice are called pups. That's cute.
That's really cute.
When their pups smelled the scent of cherry blossom, they became more jumpy and nervous than the pups whose fathers hadn't been conditioned to fear that scent.
And that's all the pups, whether they were born male or female. They were all jumpy as a result of the father's now generational trauma.
From what I learned, yes.
Wow.
I wish somebody would have did that to me with a Cinnabon. Am I right, people out there? Right? Am I right?
You
Cinnabon,
could
it's so bad for you,
never-
but it's so good, right?
You could never Pavlov me out of
guys get it.
Cinnabon. Like, you couldn't do it.
The smell of an
couldn't do it.
inside of a McDonald's.
Oh,
Fuck me. God damn
I
it.
can picture that smell, which I know doesn't make sense, but I can picture it.
You can
and
see the smell.
I can see it. And my
Yes.
mouth is
I can feel it.
watering.
Yeah.
So to
McDonald's.
God. So to rule out that the pups were somehow learning about the smell from their parents, they were raised by unrelated mice who had never smelt the cherry blossom.
Oh, the family drama in this mice family.
It gets worse.
They were adopted? These mice were adopted?
Alvin,
I
It
hope
gets
they get
worse.
adopted out. No.
The grand pups. The grand pups of the traumatized males also showed heightened sensitivity to the scent. Neither of the generations showed a greater sensitivity to smells other than cherry blossom, indicating that the inheritance was specific to that cherry blossom scent.
So now we're 2 generations removed from the mouse that experienced the direct harm.
Yes.
And they're not even being raised by the people that experience. So they're like, you don't get me. They're like emo mice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, you guys don't get sick when you smell cherry blossoms. Why do I?
They are
Oh.
adopted mice. They have nothing to do socially with their parents.
That is so fascinating.
Yeah.
They've got blue bangs and, just listening to scene music and just,
Okay.
just-
Okay.
no one understands these mice.
I'm feeling
No one
specifically
understands.
targeted right now.
Lots of what's it called? Like Panic at the Disco.
Oh, yeah, a
Yes.
ton of that, yeah.
My Chemical Romance.
Yeah. My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical Romance.
Speaking of cherry blossoms, My Chemical Romance.
Oh, God.
So this sensitivity to cherry blossom scent was linked back to epigenetic modifications in their sperm DNA. So chemical markers on their DNA were found on a gene encoding a smell receptor expressed in the olfactory bulb between the nose and the brain.
It's crazy how we are all just meat computers.
We're meat computers.
We are meat computers,
It's
yes.
really fucking scary.
Yeah. So when they dissected the mice's brains, they could be like, oh yeah, there it is.
Cherry blossom, ick.
Yeah, cherry blossom-ish.
Wow.
So when they dissected the brains, they also found there was a greater number of the neurons that detect the cherry blossom scent compared with control mice. So it's not even like,
Shut up. It's like, we're scared of this, so we're going to make sure you can catch it really, really, really early and stay the fuck away.
yeah.
Wow.
That happens so fast.
I mean, it's like
2 generations.
it's like an
Yeah, it's
evolutionary thing, like some people are super fucking afraid of spiders, like Blortney.
And me.
And
but yeah.
she just has something extra in her brain where if she sees something like the size and shape of a spider, it's like a whoa, like a
I wonder
you
if like
have that
a
reaction.
distant ancestor was like killed by a spider bite or something.
I mean,
the spider from Harry Potter, the giant one.
Not cool.
I
well,
think we figured this out.
Aragog.
Well, how do we think cats are afraid of pickle? I mean, cucumbers. Like, what's that?
because they
Don't
look
they
like
think they're
they look
snakes?
like snakes.
Snakes?
Mhm.
Got it. Solved. We're making connections. We should start like a science show.
We should start a podcast.
But yeah,
Anytime
and-
anybody is like, should I start a podcast? I'm like, honestly, don't do it. You don't want this.
if you wanted to take over your entire life, go for it. But yeah, this study only studied like 3 generations of mice, basically, and also they're mice. So we don't know how we can't legally dissect the brains of like humans and things like that. So
Yeah, maybe publicly. All right. QAnon, right? Am I right? Let's go, guys. Let's do it, right? Am I right? Where we at, guys?
Are we bringing Q back right now?
The government's cutting us up in basements. You know it. People out there, they know it. They know it.
only in pizza restaurants with like ping
Only in
ping-
pizza
ping
restaurants.
pong
Yes,
in the
exactly.
basement.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where all this goes down. It's important to note that it wasn't a fear response in this study that was passed down to the next 2 generations, but rather a sensitivity. So researchers later, so it's not like
It's like gluten sensitivity. Like I don't have celiacs, but like it makes
just
me
makes
feel
you kind of
rough.
yeah, makes
But I
made
might
him a little
shit.
jumpy.
I'm afraid that I'm
might
gonna
get a little shitty.
I might shit through a screen door later after I eat this bread.
Yeah.
And also like the fear response might be sort of like taught.
Like a natural response to the, oh, yeah.
It might be
could
taught, and it
learned.
might not have been a fear response specifically because these orphan mice were raised by other mice, not the ones who had been
Yes.
directly traumatized. Had they been raised by their actual parents who did have a fear association,
They'd know.
maybe that would be like a thing that's taught. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
But in terms of these DNA markers, it's just a sensitivity.
Putting them in different families is the most fascinating part to me.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
because now there's no mouse there to be
Right.
like, oh my, do you smell that? Everybody put on your masks. There's no mouse there to do that.
Cover
you just
your
know
feet.
inherently.
Yeah.
You're about to get zapped.
Exactly.
These poor bubbies.
Okay, this is a little bit of a redeeming part. Researchers later repeatedly exposed the fearful mice, so these are the original mice, the ones who got shocked, to the cherry blossom smell without the foot shock, and eventually they formed new associations with the smell.
Yeah, after a very traumatizing little while when they didn't, and they were just flooded with cherry blossom smell
Well, they were
and
Shocked.
freaking the fuck out.
they were
That
trying
they were
to
going to get shocked.
they were trying to figure out how easily or whether it was possible for them to unlearn these associations.
Right. No, I get it.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
The cherry blossoms do smell pretty damn good.
They
So, I
really
mean,
do.
you take away the shocks, and I'm sure they had a great time. It's like those videos where people that are colorblind get those colorblind glasses for the first time.
yeah.
Love those videos.
It's my favorite video.
I cry
Imagine a
every
mouse version
time.
of that, of a mouse smelling cherry blossoms for the first time and then not getting shocked.
Yeah, magic.
I'll cry right now.
Magic.
Right now, I'll cry.
I always cry in the videos where like a baby will get a hearing
cochlear implant?
Yeah, like
Oh.
an assisted hearing device.
Don't even do it
and
right
then
now. I
hear
have
their
enough meat in me. I'll
voice
start.
for the first time, and they're
Hear his voice, and they're like, oh, "What is
Alvin's
that?"
crying. Alvin's crying into his mead.
I am not.
You're
But it
habanero.
is
Send you
beautiful. But
So
it is
many
beautiful.
babies crying at the sound of their mother's voice for the first time.
It
TikToks
is
later.
quite beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's coming.
Okay,
It's beautiful.
so to back this up,
Mm-hmm.
when they looked at these desensitized mice's sperm, they found that they had actually lost that fearful epigenetic signature. So the later offspring of the desensitized mice might not have inherited the same effects as the earlier ones.
Okay, but the
Breaking generational curses in that
Therapy
lab.
works, people.
people,
God.
but not for those adopted mice who may not have been rehabilitated. We don't know.
I
I hope
mean,
they were.
How long is their lifespan really? Was it worth it? Was it worth the taxpayer dollars to desensitize
We all return to the
Oh
soil
my
eventually.
God.
Yeah.
Lucy, bite your tongue.
I'm just being honest and
I know
reasonable.
you are. All your emails can go to Lucy. She's the one. She's the
It's
the
fine.
mean one.
That's fine. Anyone who emails me knows what they're getting back.
True.
Cold, hard truth. One of the factors that is kind of mystifying scientists at this point is how much the male's DNA clings onto, considering the fact that when the sperm fertilizes the egg in mice and like every animal, a lot of that paternal DNA is almost like wiped clean. Like they
Yeah.
start fresh, kind of putting things back together once
But
it's
A clean
fertilized.
slate.
Is lingering.
Mm-hmm. The answer,
I mean, yeah, it's got to be evolutionary. Like, it's, you think about this cherry blossom thing, it's like passing down a fear response rooted in traumatic experiences so that future generations know or are like instinctually wanting to escape or run away from those experiences. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But why it clings so much to the male. But maybe if we go back to like the very early binary, like the hunter-gatherer versus holding down the safe zone at home with the young, like maybe way, way, way back in the early Homo sapiens, like the males were the ones who were out getting fucking chased by dinosaurs because they totally lived at the same time. And then the
Yeah.
females were back
You know it.
at base camp.
Creationism.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. It
Continue,
makes
yes.
sense. It makes sense why those generational traumas, like having a healthy fear of things in our environment that are dangerous.
Yeah.
so
definitely.
I think it's a fluke, and I will tell
Okay.
you exactly why. First of all, I learned earlier today from ASAP Science on Instagram. That's one of my
A$AP Science.
fucking
Great rapper.
favorite. It's one of my favorite
it.
accounts. It's two guys. I think they're in Canada, but they just do like little clips of like really interesting science shit that's like very digestible.
Yes.
And earlier today, while I was pooping before we recorded, while we were all texting, I watched a clip that basically females predate males. Males are just a weird byproduct.
Of female, yes.
of how genes diversified into binary genders, and how like there's like a path. Like females used to be able to reproduce on their own.
Cool.
And testicles are
sick.
basically a leftover ovaries.
Huh.
Damn.
I like that
That's
theory.
sick.
Yeah.
No, that's sick.
So
I like that.
I think that it's a fluke that these genetic markers that we're talking about today tend to stick to the Y chromosome, which explains why it's passed down through the males.
Interesting.
I think that's just like how it happens. I don't think there's like necessarily a reason for it.
Right.
But continuing with this quote, the answer may lie in the idea that these markers aren't attached to the DNA, but rather the RNA. So RNA is like a component of DNA. So there was another study, I believe in late 2018, that also used mice. Researchers took the babies away from the mothers as soon as they were born in order to mimic, quote, dislocated families or the abuse, neglect, and emotional damage that you sometimes see in people, says Isabel Mansui, who led the research. So, quote, the symptoms these pups showed as they grew up also mimicked the symptoms seen in children who have experienced early trauma. The mice showed signs of increased risk-taking and higher calorie intake, which are both factors seen in child trauma survivors. When the males grew up, they had pups that showed similar traits, so overeating, risk-taking, and higher levels of antisocial behavior.
So there again, it's going through the generations already, like right away.
The researchers extracted RNA molecules from the sperm of male mice who had been traumatized and injected these molecules into the early embryos of mice whose parents had not experienced this early life trauma.
So it's like surrogacy through a mouse that shouldn't have this pattern to see if it'll show up.
They did like in vitro fertilization of the traumatized sperm into an egg that hadn't, or into a embryo that hadn't previously been traumatized.
Oh, okay, okay. Weird. Ugh.
This is why they make you fill out that form when you go do sperm donations, because some people shouldn't.
Have you been
donate sperm 'cause my brother has the same name as me, Lucy. So yeah, I don't want to pass that on. The kid has a weird hang up about their name. Some kids out there having some weird hang ups about their name out there. So yeah, I don't want to pass that on to somebody.
You shouldn't be a sperm donor.
I'm being kind.
Also, they could get you and your brother totally mixed up. Like
exactly, yeah, it's causing all kind of problems out there. That's crazy, though. These mice shouldn't be donating sperm. They're just making these kids messed up.
Yeah, well, they weren't.
Let's go break into a mouse lab. Free the mice.
At the time, they weren't sure what was going to happen because biologically, based on what we used to think that we knew, it wouldn't have had an effect. But the resulting pups showed the typical altered behavioral patterns of a pup whose parents had experienced trauma.
It's in that fucking RNA,
It is in
man.
the RNA, the DNA or the RNA. They also found that different lengths of RNA molecules were linked to different behavioral patterns. So, for example, longer RNAs corresponded to greater food intake, changed the body's response to insulin, like I mentioned earlier, and greater risk-taking, while smaller RNA molecules were linked to showing signs of despair.
Oh my God. Do I have both then? Do I have both short and long?
Yes, you can have a smattering. It's a smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord.
So, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not here to invalidate female trauma survivors or their descendants. According to this article, quote, this research, as well as many of the mice studies, focus on sperm and epigenetic inheritance down the male line. This isn't because scientists think it only happens with males. It's just a lot harder to study eggs than it is to study sperm. So in terms of where we are with scientific research, we're focusing currently on the male inheritance.
Because those folks with sacs have enough, they could keep making more. Us with egg sacs can't keep making more.
We have a finite reserve.
Right.
That's right. Bussin'.
So this last bit is from the...
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
What are we saying?
Yeah,
okay. All right. Okay. Cool. Move forward. Move on.
Yeah.
Fully painted myself into this corner. I'm just going to stand here and let it dry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this last part is from the Washington Post. The seminal
Seminal.
Nice.
The seminal study on the matter of epigenetics centers on the Dutch hunger winter of 1944 through 1945 during World War II, when Nazis occupying the Netherlands restricted food transport as punishment for the Dutch government's support of the Allies. A harsh winter and bad crops left the population with rations of less than 900 calories per day for months.
My God. So many people must have fucking died.
22,000 people died.
Oh, Jesus.
Decades later, and the Netherlands is not that big. That's a lot of fun. That's a big chunk of the population.
Yep.
Decades later, scientists began researching the offspring of women who were pregnant during this time.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
What they found in part was that their children, their offspring, were heavier than average, had higher levels of triglycerides and LDL cholesterol, and were more prone to obesity and diabetes. So,
Because they just hold on to whatever they get.
yes.
Right.
So even though there was no longer a risk of starvation for these offspring, it appeared that the memory was trying to protect their bodies from a land with no food.
Oh, my God.
Turtle-like metabolism.
Fucking
Unbelievable.
so fucking cool. So to round us out, what can you do if you are a parent or a caregiver who believes that past trauma might be affecting a child in your life? Beyond establishing a safe and secure environment, soft physical touch such as hugs, back rubs, and snuggling can go a long way in sending signals to the body that they are safe. So like physical touch. Amanda, remember the recent episode about the babies who didn't even cry anymore because they knew that there was no
They were
point.
so
They were just
neglected.
silent babies. They were so neglected that they just knew crying wouldn't
do
No,
anything.
It didn't do anything. Oh,
yeah.
no.
Horrible. Oh, I still have chills. That I haven't cried in an episode in a long time. That fucking broke
That
me.
got her.
That's so sad.
It's really sad.
So this physical touch also helps to regulate their emotions. And of course, as we said earlier, therapy goes a fucking long way as well. If you get your child into therapy, which of course we are heavily promoting here, it's important to be forthcoming with the therapist about the child's history, whether or not you recognize certain events as traumatic. Because like we were saying, everyone's gone through COVID. That does not make it any less traumatizing for anyone.
Yep.
Yes.
So
Yep.
anyway, that is my segment. I hope you
Damn.
found it interesting because I fucking did.
Very,
Yeah.
very much so.
Well
Wow.
done. My
Thanks.
God.
Thanks.
Well, let's take a quick sponsor / mental health break, and then we'll get into Alvin's case this week.
Ooh.
All right, everybody. It's September officially, but like, I don't know where y'all live, but in the Midwest, that still means corn sweats, hot days, the sound of those cicadas just screaming when you go outside.
Humidity. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still really hot here until like honestly October. So summer is still in full swing, okay? Temperatures are still high, and luckily for us, especially me, I'm a sweaty Betty when I sleep, and Brooklinen is here to keep me and you cool and living in comfort at home and on the go with their best-selling bedding, loungewear, towels, and more.
Towels.
Towels.
Let me tell you, Brooklinen honestly makes my bathroom and just home, my bedroom, feel like an absolute luxury spa. So Brooklinen, home of the internet's favorite sheets, was created by a husband-wife duo to provide customers with hotel-level home essentials. So,
Yes.
you know, a husband-wife duo, they probably had some sleeping issues
Yeah.
that inspired the whole breathable sheets thing.
Yeah, you want to be like, wow, what brilliance sparked from necessity in this marriage?
Exactly. So by working directly with suppliers, Brooklinen cuts out the luxury markups and passes those savings right back to their customers so you get their incredible products at a reasonable cost. Brooklinen launches new products, colors, and patterns all the time. Every time I look at their website, there's something new and adorable.
Yup.
This is from their sheets, their towels, their robes. So like bold pops of color, adventurous prints, really cool like graphic designs.
Yeah.
And they
have
also-
really cute stuff.
Yeah, and also with some limited edition collections selling out in as little as 1 month. That does not surprise me.
No.
And then beyond just the sheets, Brooklinen's effortlessly cool loungewear collection includes classic tees, shorts, and more that will keep you comfortable throughout summer heat waves, thanks to ultra soft, breathable jersey and cotton fabrics. These are my favorite pajamas.
I know. I have like the joggers. And they are so comfy. And frankly, they're cute enough that I can like wear them to the grocery store on the rare occasion that I leave my house. It's amazing. And for a limited time, Brooklinen is offering free pillowcases with purchase. If you miss out, you can use promo code GALS anytime for $20 off plus free shipping on your order of $100 or more at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com, promo code GALS. Head to brooklinen.com for your free pillowcases today and treat your sheets.
Straight up.
You know, in this fast-paced modern world, we put off the things that are like give us joy until we feel like we deserve it.
It's not great or healthy.
No, like, you know, don't eat that cupcake until you've eaten all your vegetables kind of mentality. But you know what? Eat the cupcake first, okay?
Do it.
Eat the cupcake first. You do deserve it. Don't wait. You've already earned fun, so have it. And get it with Best Fiends. It's like giving yourself permission to eat dessert first. With Best Fiends, which is an exciting puzzle adventure game, you can have fiendish fun anywhere, anytime. You don't need internet to play it. It's seriously amazing. I am a Best Fiends
fiend.
Fiend. I am a Best Fiends evangelist. I love it. It is so relaxing. It's my go-to airplane game.
Yes.
It's my go-to. I'm in the bathtub and I want to tune everybody out. You're all awful.
Or it's a commercial.
Yeah.
I need to look at a different screen.
I love trying to quickly like beat the clock on commercials
Yeah.
by playing a game of Best Fiends. I'm currently on level 2,932.
You are such a fiend.
I am such a fiend, and there's a really fun seasonal event right now. You know how I love like collecting dice and then playing the little board games within the game?
The mega roll dice.
Yes, we're in one of those specials right now in Best Fiends. It's amazing. Tell us more, Lucy.
Well, Best Fiends is a free-to-download mobile puzzle game with thousands of exciting levels for new adventures and challenges every time you play. There are dozens of unique fiends to collect. They're like cute little bugs. And then you spend your meteorites to like grow them and make them even cuter and get them outfits and stuff.
Outfits! It's so cute!
Unbelievable. So you can customize your team of fiends to defeat the menacing slugs. Power up your favorite fiends to new levels for even more powerful skills and watch them transform as they get stronger. Honestly, they just get cuter.
Yeah, they really do.
With offline play, you'll never be stranded without fun, even if you lose your internet connection. Honestly, that is my favorite thing about this game.
Yep.
And brand new events and challenges pop up all year round, like Amanda said, so you'll always get a chance to earn exclusive in-game items, characters, and rewards. So you have earned your fun time. Go to the App Store or Google Play to download Best Fiends for free. Plus, earn even more with $5 worth of in-game rewards when you reach level 5. That's friends without the R, Best Fiends.
This is a story that I'm covering for Kenyon. So this is I'm taking over her story, and I'm really excited to deliver this to you guys.
Great.
And I've had some mead, but I will slur as little as possible.
Let it out.
Let it out.
So Jennifer Pan was born on June 17th, 1986 in Ontario.
Ooh, Ontario.
Ontario, Canada.
That's how the Germans say it.
Canada.
Ontario, Canada. Yes. Her parents, Wei Han Pan and Big Ha Pan, had both settled in Canada after fleeing Vietnam as political refugees in the late 70s. They married in Toronto. Yes, very much so. And also, side note, I don't understand how people come from refugee countries like that and they go, why didn't you just like die there? Like why did you come here? Like, come on. Like there was a war happening. Right. They had to survive.
Yeah.
What is even the discussion here?
Survival issue.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ted Cruz fled to Mexico from cold weather in Texas.
Yes.
So
Margaritaville,
And I know there was more than just
Margaritaville,
cold
genocide.
weather.
You gotta get out when you gotta get out,
Yeah.
So Han and Bick both worked at an auto part manufacturer called Magna International.
Okay.
This is Magna country. Han worked as a Make America Generate Necco wafers again.
Yes.
That's my belief.
Okay, but actually.
Yeah. Smarties blow, and Necco wafers were better and bigger. You got more bang for your buck. This is the whole thing. I don't even
I'm not gonna. Let's not go into it.
That
because
take
I
isn't even
strongly
hot.
Disagree.
It's just true.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, wow. Lucy.
I don't want to talk about it.
We will move on. Then we will move on. Ooh, tension. They were extremely careful with their money, and by 2004, they were able to purchase a large house with a 2-car garage in Markham, a largely Asian suburb of Toronto. Now, 2-car garage, big flex. When I was a kid, I had a friend who had a 2-car garage and a fridge in the garage, and that fridge had an ice machine.
Holy shit.
Shut
The
up.
garage fridge had an ice machine?
The garage fridge had an ice. I didn't have an ice machine in my home, the fridge where we kept the vittles.
Yeah, I don't have a...
They had an
I have an ice
fridge.
machine or a true 2-car garage
They
either.
had a nice machine on the fridge that you keep the case of Dr. Peppers in for when family comes over.
Right.
That's the
was insane.
bougiest thing I've ever heard.
I'd take my hat off and put it to my chest when I went over there. I was like, excuse me, can I please have
Please, sir.
Capri Sun, please, sir. I thought they were the richest people I've ever seen in my life. So they also drove nice cars. Han, a Mercedes-Benz, and Bick, a Lexus.
Nice.
They were proud of all that they had achieved and expected their children to continue this upward social mobility. They had extremely high expectations for both Jennifer and Felix.
So Felix
Jennifer
is the brother?
Felix is the younger brother, yes.
Okay.
Jennifer began taking piano lessons at age 4, as well as figure skating lessons.
Same.
Yeah, well, you know.
I didn't
it's-
take piano, but I did take figure skating.
I took
Well,
piano
those-
and not figure skating. So together
Whoa.
we are a whole person.
The yin and the yang.
Correct.
She dreamed of becoming an Olympic skater and eventually was training almost every day of the week. Wow. There were many nights in elementary school when Jennifer would come home from skating practice at 10 p.m. and stay up until midnight finishing her homework.
So in elementary school, that's the age of like 6 to like
10.
9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
She was burning the
you're in
candles
like
at
a-
both ends.
Yeah, if you're in like a K through 5 elementary
Yes.
school.
She was
That
taking
is
two strenuous extracurriculars that are like taxing on your body
Right.
and had to come home and finish her homework.
That's a trauma in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just an exhausted kid, and then don't let her be in my class because then I come in, I'm like, hey, slide me those answers. Let me get that.
Right.
I'm changing 8, making it wrong on purpose. You know, I'm playing those kind of games.
Yep.
And, you know, so I'm sure that, you know, there were people doing that to Jennifer as well. So she's being taken advantage of from all these different angles. Her fingers hurt, her feet hurt.
You
her
want to
brain
sit
hurts.
next to Jennifer in class.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, she's burning the candles at both ends. I don't even know how. Well, no, I'm sure her parents made her. I'm sure she got good grades
God
because
bless
it's like
her.
you have to succeed in all of the things.
Oh, yeah.
or you're gonna get in trouble. Eventually, Jennifer's figure skating dreams were dashed when she tore a ligament in her knee.
No.
Before middle school, this happened. They
no.
ran her into the ground. In 8th grade, she reportedly began self-harming by cutting.
8th
So
grade.
So by 8th grade, she was like tarnished goods by 8th grade, like,
Yeah,
you know,
poor
in her parents'
thing.
mind. Anyway, they're like, yeah, well, your figure skating dreams are gone.
Yeah,
by
you-
8th grade, you're used up.
Oh, that's too bad.
Insane.
This poor kid.
For high school, she attended Mary Ward Catholic Secondary School, where she played the flute in the school band, as well as numerous other extracurricular activities, in addition to which she was expected to get straight A's.
Dang.
So she had a lot of friends.
I'm sure she had so many friends.
With all that free time.
So much
All that
free
flute
time.
playing and
Yeah.
getting straight A's. I mean, high school kids notoriously love both those things.
Yes.
According to one of Jennifer's high school friends, so she had at least one,
Okay.
many people viewed Han as the classic tiger dad, while Bick was his reluctant accomplice. So the wife was more so subdued and just went along with the dad, and the dad was very much, you know,
The
on her
driving
ass.
force behind this, yeah.
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Jennifer was never allowed to attend parties or date boys.
Oh.
Yes. Occasionally, her parents would allow her to attend a sleepover with her girlfriend, but they always dropped her off late and picked her up early.
Okay.
So, right, as soon as you get there, we drop you off at midnight, pick you up at 6 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah, everyone's
So
already
they just
jacked
they
up on.
literally let you sleep at somebody's house.
Yeah, they're only there to sleep. That's it.
Already jacked up on Mountain Dew and Doritos.
They've already played light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Yeah,
you missed all the fun.
good stuff.
You
Yeah.
come right over and just hit the Z's. You know, that's no sleepover. That's, you know. It's like a diet sleepover, and that's no fun.
No, sugar-free sleepover, literally.
For sugar, please. It's like a splendid sleepover, yes. So Jennifer struggled with her high school classes. She received B's and C's in most of them.
Okay, same.
Which is
and
great,
I wasn't doing,
which is like,
I wasn't
fine.
doing
That's
any
fine.
of this shit that she was doing. This poor kid.
That's fine.
That's all passing. You're good
That's
to go.
all. Yes, you're above board.
I was just fucking off with
Yes.
Amanda and Kenyon during this time. That's where my B's and C's came from.
Yep.
The exception was music, where she excelled. Unwilling to reveal to her parents that she was not meeting their expectations, she began forging her report cards to make it look like she had earned straight A's, which is a talent in and of itself.
Been there.
Ocean's 11.
Yep.
Yes. At first, she told herself that this deception didn't matter very much, as colleges would not be concerned with her grades from 9th and 10th grade.
Right.
Which, yeah, sure. That's a good way
Also
to...
told myself that.
Yeah.
And then you go, or 11th. It's really 12. You just keep pushing it.
Yeah.
And she she just needed to keep her parents off her back and would raise the grades later. She was eventually accepted into Ryerson University, but she continued to struggle with some of her classes. When she failed calculus, when she failed that calculus, Ryerson rescinded their offer, and rather than reveal this failure to her parents, Jennifer concocted an elaborate plan to pretend she was attending Ryerson in the fall, when in fact she had not even graduated high school because of her calculus grade.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
I would do this without
This is
any
also-
of the pressure she was under. I would do this.
This is a fantastic Jonah Hill movie, by the way. It's Jonah Hill and Justin Long. And I think it's Accepted, I think it's called. They just make up a college.
Yes.
Yeah, none of them get in to the school they wanted to go to. So they just make up a school.
They made up
That's
a
what I
community
should've
college.
done.
Yeah. Classic film. Good times. Fun movie.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So she convinced her parents that she was handling tuition with a combination of loans and a scholarship that she had won.
Okay.
And pretended to, she's a great liar.
Yeah, she's thorough. She's thorough.
Yeah, and she got an A in lying. And pretended to commute to class each day.
So she was still living at home because she couldn't go into a dorm, but she could have been like, I want to live at home. I'll just commute to class.
Exactly. So, oh my God, I'm running late, guys. I can't even talk right now. She hops on a skateboard.
Okay.
In reality, she was teaching piano lessons and working part-time in a restaurant to earn money.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's independent, but also a liar. So, she's handling it. She's doing her. She's
It's
doing,
a lot.
hey,
It's a lot to juggle.
she's
Doing her
doing her.
best. Yeah.
She's doing her.
Lying is exhausting.
It is.
Lying's the most fun a girl can have. Panic at the Disco song.
Yeah,
She was also spending time in
traumatized.
libraries researching the topics she claimed to be taking classes on. She really went the extra mile.
Well, she knows her dad's going to ask.
Yeah, she
She
became
knows.
an expert in calculus to spite her. Man, that's good.
She just
This
went.
is elaborate.
She got all the college credits
Yes.
without any of the college credit.
She's an
just keeping up the
astrophysicist.
lie.
Yeah, with none of the credits.
Oh, God, poor
GED.
thing.
Yeah, so she became an expert in these classes just so she could just continue to deceive her parents. She also reconnected with a boy named Daniel Wong. They had met in high school and had a brief and highly forbidden romantic relationship,
Hot.
which had ended when he transferred schools after he had been caught selling marijuana.
Ooh,
The bad boy.
Yeah.
That Daniel Wong.
Oh.
After 2 years of pretending to attend Ryerson, Jennifer told her parents that she was going to
2
transfer to the
years.
university.
Jesus. Oh my God.
She was going to transfer to the University of Toronto, where she had been accepted into the pharmacology program. Wow, man, this is a really elaborate lie.
So now she's trying to flee the country. She's trying
she's
to
like,
flee to Canada.
She's like, you know something? I'm changing up my major.
She's already in Canada.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
I
you know,
guess. I guess I missed that part. You're right.
She's moving to Toronto, the big city, Toronto.
Okay.
Her father was thrilled about her move to the University of Toronto, and Jennifer continued her charade of going to the library and taking fake class notes, and also purchased secondhand textbooks related to pharmacology. So now she's investing money.
Yeah,
This is
she's
great.
spending the money.
This
Just
is a
go to
long
How
ass
about just go to
con.
school and like just that? You're really putting a lot of effort into this that you
Yeah.
could just do school with.
What a house of cards.
Anyway, she suggested to her parents that she could move in with her friend Topaz in downtown Toronto 3 nights a week so that she would have to spend less time commuting to and from school.
Okay,
Smart.
that's fair.
Yeah. But I think she probably just wanted to party.
Well, yeah.
It was like,
But
well, I need some nights away from
as
home.
lies go, that's like a super believable one.
Solid.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, I'm going to stay the night at their house because it's closer to school.
Right. I have
Yeah.
class
That's
at
the only reason
9.
I'm going to sleep there, not because they have their liquor cabinets unlocked.
Topaz sounds like a riot.
Big thought this idea made sense and helped Jennifer convince Han that she was responsible enough to live away from home for part of the week.
Amazing.
Big
In
nerd.
fact, yes. In fact, Jennifer never moved in with Topaz, but began spending 3 nights a week staying with Daniel and his family.
Ooh, the bad boy.
The Daniel Wong. She told Daniel's parents that Han and Bick had approved of the arrangement, and every time his parents asked to meet them, she found excuses to brush them off. So she's lying. She has a whole web of lies.
This is turning into like a 90 Day Fiance
Oh, yeah,
adjacent.
it's elaborate.
Oh, my
It's
catfish.
elaborate.
My webcam's broken. I can't.
She's like, yeah, I can't on my phone. I don't have a smartphone.
My mom just died of cancer again.
Again.
Yes, exactly. Again, my grandma got hit by a bus. I can't come meet you at Ruby Tuesdays. She found excuses to brush them off, like I said. When the time came that Jennifer would have been scheduled to graduate from the University of Toronto, so she kept this up for years.
Oh my God.
And now it's
God.
graduation season. Everybody has on their cap and gowns, and it's like, now it's your turn.
This goes so deep.
It goes super deep. She told her parents that the university only gave out 1 graduation ticket per student, and that she had chosen to give hers to a friend, an unnamed friend, so as to
I
not
couldn't
leave
choose
either
between
of them
my
out.
parents. So
Yeah, so I just gave it to some random person.
I gave
so
it
not
to
make,
Topaz.
I gave
one
it to
ticket. Oh,
I gave
Topaz
it to
really
Topaz.
wanted to go watch my graduation.
Oh,
Yes, I couldn't choose between the two of you. It was such an impossible choice. So I gave it to just a random person. Yes. She would later state that I tried looking at myself in third person and I didn't like who I saw. But rationalizations in my head said I had to keep going. Otherwise, I would lose everything that ever meant anything to me. Which, that's understand. That's a tough, that's stressful. And it's like, you have to keep this facade up because if you don't, you'll lose everything will crumble.
right.
So it's like you're lying, but you're lying to maintain what you have. And that's a tough spot to be in.
Yes.
But I don't have the capacity to keep up any of these lies.
No,
is
this
insane.
is the most confusing, long lie ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that
I'm-
Anna Delvey show.
Yes.
Totally.
I don't have time for this. I don't have time for yo. So
Why are you wearing that? You look poor.
Yo.
you look paw.
My father's
So,
wiring it.
Problem
So
with the
after-
bang. Sorry.
That's a problem with the bag.
I promise we'll stop. I promise.
So after graduation, Jennifer told her parents that she had started working as a volunteer in the blood testing lab at the hospital for sick children.
Jesus, come on.
Listen, I don't know anything about Canada, but that's like the most generic sentence I've ever heard. I started
work
doing
at the
blood testing at the
testing
lab,
lab.
the hospital for sick children.
At the hospital for sick
The hospital
children.
for sick children.
Is this a real
but-
place? And was
Yes.
this also a lie? Because how many
Yes, it
credentials
was.
do you need to volunteer at a hospital?
I would think
Depends
you
on
need
what
at
you're
least,
volunteering for, but yeah.
I would think you need at least some kind of credential to handle blood
Yep.
testing.
I hope so.
Oh, blood testing. Okay.
Well, I don't know how the hospital for sick children handles their business, but at Johns Hopkins, where I live, you need to have some kind of. You gotta have some credentials. You gotta have some
Hospital for
credence.
sick
You gotta have some credence.
I can't get over it.
I don't know how the HFSC does things, but MedStar Memorial, you need to have. You gotta go to some at least like a not what is it like you have to have like some what is it not a degree but like some kind of technical class or something. You don't have a certificate or something.
Yeah.
You have to have a certificate at least.
I will
Not
never
at the-
recover from the hospital
The
for
hospital
sick
for sick children. That's like the worst lie ever. But her parents are like, yes, nice. Well, we're really proud of you.
Is
And
it real? I'm Googling it.
I don't think
There's
it's
no
real.
way that
There's no
the
way that's
hospital
fucking
for sick
real.
children-
There's no way that even in
Listen,
Canada that can't be real.
Toronto?
There has to be a St. Jude's or something in front of it. Just the hospital for sick
it's
children.
real.
No way!
The
Stop!
website is sickkids.ca.
No way! Dot Canada? They have their own.
Sickkids.ca. Yes.
It's called the hospital for sick kids.
Oh my god!
Children,
I just
yes.
Sick isn't sick just like pejorative? That's not even like that's
They're like
that's not a
sick.
diagnosis. Yeah, you're sick. All these kids are sick.
Full disclosure, I just laughed so hard I peed my pants like a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
Not enough that I have to go do anything about it right now, but enough that I felt it coming out.
I'm going to see if
Yeah.
I can volunteer.
Please do. I do blood work at the hospital for steezy children.
Oh
So yeah. So, Anyway, so sick is not a diagnosis. Sick children?
I love it.
Okay, yeah. Surprisingly, guys, the parents soon became suspicious of her lack of hospital ID badge or any sort of uniform. She was going to work in Abercrombie clothes. On one occasion, Bick followed Jennifer on a day she claimed that she was going to work, and the deception quickly unraveled from there.
Oh, Bick.
Jennifer told her parents everything, from her fake university attendance to her relationship with Daniel Wong.
She spilled
Han
the
was
beans.
She spilled the beans.
Yeah.
Han was furious and wanted to throw Jennifer out of the house, but Bick persuaded him to let her stay. She was allowed to remain living at home under the strict conditions that she was only allowed to leave the house to teach piano lessons, and her parents took away her computer and cell phone and only allowed her access to them for short periods of time under their supervision.
She's like
Now,
22 years old.
This is an adult. Yeah, this is an adult person.
That's what I was just going to ask.
This is a person in their early 20s.
Okay.
This is a person in their early 20s, but again, it's one of those situations where if all you ever known is these people provide a roof under your head, you know, like you don't know how to survive on your own, the threat of that being taken away from you will make you comply to a lot of things. Because I would just go, how about no?
Yeah.
How about I'll see you guys later?
Yeah.
I'm going clubbing.
I'm moving in with
Daniel Wong.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.
But Daddy, I love him.
So like I said, Bick was more lenient and told her daughter that her phone was hidden and told her daughter where her phone was hidden and allowed her to check her messages, probably from Daniel Wong. Jennifer maintained contact with Daniel during this period, although he was beginning to lose patience with her situation, which is, I'm in my early 20s.
It's fair.
Yeah. But I think he lived at home with his parents too.
It's hard
his
to
parents
fall
were
in
chill.
love with unavailable folks.
Yes, but his parents were sick, like in the fun way. His parents were sick, so they weren't all up his ass.
Yep.
And so he's like, "Listen, I live with my parents too, but your parents are unreasonable."
Yeah, next level.
Yeah. In February of 2009, Jennifer wrote on her Facebook page, "Living in my house is like living under house arrest. No one person knows everything about me, and no two people put together knows everything about me. I like being a mystery."
Ooh.
Which is like, that's...
All right.
I feel like I
That's a
had
step-
that on my MySpace page for a while.
That's a step up from realize, which was one of the things I would post like at least twice a week on my own Facebook page. And people were like, what the hell are you talking about?
You're sending a message.
By the time Jennifer was 24, continuing to live at home and working on finishing her high school degree under her parents' watchful eyes, Daniel had decided to end things.
Now she's going through a
That
breakup.
heartbreak, that young heartbreak. He told Jennifer he could no longer carry on their relationship in secret, and that he had met someone else.
Ooh, ouch.
A woman named Christine.
No.
Christine.
Oh.
No.
I'm
yes.
begging of you, please
This is
don't
like-
take my man.
God, I'm feeling it's like an Olivia Rodrigo album. Not long after learning of this relationship, Jennifer contacted Daniel to tell him that a man had come to the house and showed her what looked like a police badge. When she opened the door to him, several men had rushed in and gang raped her.
Oh my God.
Wow.
This is her story?
This is her story. This is what she told Daniel Wong.
Got it. Okay.
After this, she said she received a bullet in the mail, and she told Daniel that she believed both of these incidents had been orchestrated by his new girlfriend as warnings to her.
Ooh.
Okay.
So, believe victims, but she has a track record, and
Sure.
that just took a weird turn.
Yep.
And, now I don't, if I'm Daniel, that's when I go, Christine?
Yeah.
This was Christine did this?
We have context to be skeptical in this
Yes.
in this case.
Especially
In this
given
case.
her background of
Precisely.
really complex lies.
Exactly.
She's a habitual liar at this point. In the spring of 2010, Jennifer contacted a high school friend named Andrew Montemayor, whom she remembered used to boast about robbing people at knife point.
Yikes.
Something Montemayor denies. He's like, I didn't say that. She's lying. She's lying.
What?
And even if I did say it, why are you a tattletale?
Yeah.
Yeah, narc.
Yeah. So when Jennifer discussed her difficult relationship with her father to Montemayor, he confessed that on occasion he had fantasized about killing his own father. Through Montemayor, Jennifer also got to know his roommate, a goth kid named Ricardo Duncan.
Okay.
Ooh, the
I love
goth
goth
roommate.
Me
kids.
too.
I love goth kids.
As a
The
former
commitment-
goth kid.
Yeah, the commitment to I'm a vampire
Oh.
is underrated. It's some of the best. It's some of the best cosplay.
It's incredible.
It's LARPing. It's all of those things.
Yeah.
And you're doing it in just public. You're not doing it in the safety of a fake realm. You're like in a high school, fully prepared to be bullied and all of those things.
Fully
and you're
prepared
like, I'm a creature.
to suck their blood.
Yep.
Yes, I'm a creature of the night.
Yeah.
Drinking Clamato juice. I dig all of it. Bring back goths. Make goths great again.
Exactly.
Make goths great again.
That almost works. Make a goth great again.
Okay.
So this goth kid was named Ricardo Duncan. Jennifer would hang out with Duncan in between her piano lessons, and eventually the two hatched a plan for him to murder her father in the parking lot of his work as he left for the day from his job.
Great. Okay. This
Just a casual hangout, you drink a little Clamato juice, discuss plans of a hit.
Yeah.
A casual Tuesday afternoon.
This escalated quickly. Okay.
Yeah. Janko jeans. After
They're at
Jennifer
the roller
gave-
rink planning a murder.
Slurpees.
Yep.
Yeah. Jennifer gave Duncan $1,500 from her savings to carry out this plan.
Damn.
That's really low.
Yep.
That's a steal.
Yeah.
Although they had not settled on a date for the hit, eventually Duncan stopped answering Jennifer's phone calls because he scammed her. She came to believe that she had been scammed.
Yep.
Duncan has maintained that on one occasion a hysterical Jennifer called and asked him to kill her parents, and he said no. And the only money that she ever had given him was $200, in which he returned. Now, I don't believe Duncan. I fully believe that he scammed her.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, because he's like, she gave me $200, but I gave it back to her.
Right, yeah,
What?
no, you
Let's
didn't.
get that story, Duncan.
Yeah.
Because you're lying.
Yeah.
You definitely took her $1,500 and then ghosted her.
Right.
As I would as well.
Right.
How do we know about this
Yeah.
$1,500? Was this like
Forensic accounting.
Well, this is
Yeah.
all Jennifer. This is Jennifer's telling of her encounter with Ricardo Duncan.
So
Okay,
Jennifer
so
Ricardo
she,
Duncan is saying no.
confessed to trying to hire him to kill her.
Yes.
Okay.
And Ricardo's like, she's lying.
Yeah.
She's a liar.
got it?
Yes. So like he said, no, I didn't take $1,500. She gave me $200, but I returned that.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy.
I have morals.
Exactly. Not a soul though.
Right.
Because I am a creature of the night.
Right.
By this point, Jennifer and Daniel had rekindled their relationship, and together they came up with a much more concrete and sinister plan. They decided to hire a professional hitman to kill her parents. Jennifer would pay by promising $10,000.
You don't
which
have
is
that?
More,
You don't have
definitely does
that?
not have that. She missed that $1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, but $10,000 seems more plausible to you. Can't even. I don't even think you can entertain a hitman
For less than that.
less than $10,000.
No,
Yeah.
not a good one.
Yeah, $1,500. Come on, what is this?
Yeah.
She promised $10,000 from her eventual inheritance. Oh, this is a bad.
You won't
plan.
get it right away. You're getting it
No.
on credit.
Yeah, you cool to get it a year and a half from now
Yeah.
once they do an investigation.
Right.
So she promised $10,000 from her eventual inheritance, and then she and Daniel would live together with the rest of the money, and which was estimated to be around $500,000
In like insurance, life insurance money, if that would go to her, if her
Why
dad.
wouldn't that go to her mother?
because
She wants to
you're gonna
kill
kill
them
both of
both.
them. You're gonna kill both of them.
Oh, I thought it
It
was just
started-
her
it
dad.
started
She stepped
with
up. It
just
started
her
with the
dad.
dad. It started with the dad,
Yeah.
and then once they hired a professional hitman,
It's like,
they're
I
like,
can't
well, we need more
afford it.
money,
Got it.
so we need to
Got
kill
it.
kill both of them, and then we get the insurance.
This is rational. I'm
Super rational.
Yeah.
I'm
This is
following now.
Super coherent, cogent thoughts, and Jennifer she did go to college. You know, I mean, at least she said she did.
Right.
Daniel connected Jennifer. Daniel
didn't
connected
actually.
She didn't actually. She didn't. She's a liar.
This is so nuts.
So Daniel connected Jennifer with a man named Linford Roy Crawford.
That's a real person for sure.
Yeah, Linford.
Yep.
Linford Roy Crawford.
No
who
notes.
went by the
Definitely
who went
not
by
a
the-
cop.
Yeah, definitely not a cop.
Officer
This is not a sting
Linford.
operation. He went by the nickname Homeboy.
Oh, no.
Now, listen, I don't live in Canada. I will not sit up here and pretend to be the most street guy around. But listen, me and my homies I've never met a person who goes by Homeboy.
Right. People don't.
You can be a homeboy. This is my homeboy. Nobody's name is Homeboy.
No.
So this man's name, his nickname was Homeboy.
That
That's
just means
nobody's
that
nickname.
none of his acquaintances ever remembered the name Lenford.
Right.
Yeah, well, as they should have.
What's up,
I have-
boy?
Homeboy.
yeah. What's up, homeboy?
He's
What's
like, cool
up there,
nickname.
guy?
I'm going to run with that.
Yeah. What's up, my man? My nickname's my man.
My guy.
Everybody calls me that. My guy. Everybody calls me it, so that I think it's a sign of endearment. You know, they call me my guy. Magui, my guy.
My guy.
Yeah.
M apostrophe G-U-I.
M guy.
What's up, my guy?
Guy. That's just guy over there.
I love this so much. Okay.
Daniel also gave Jennifer an iPhone and SIM card so that she could communicate with Crawford without using her real cell phone.
Wow.
Crawford agreed to Jennifer's plan and contacted 2 other men.
I need a team. I
need a full team to kill your middle-aged parents who work for a living.
Hey man, I'm here to bring you one last job. You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. And then they Arnold Schwarzenegger high five and they have bands in their arms. I'm in. Okay, so Eric Sean, whose nickname was Sniper. This is just not. This is crazy.
I like home guy and Sniper.
These are
Home
parents.
guy.
These are Canadian parents.
I'm obsessed.
Eric Sean Sniper Carty. So that's his full name.
Okay.
Middle name Sean. Sniper is his nickname.
Got it.
Carty.
Got it.
And David Milvaganum.
Nailed it.
Wow. Mylvaganam. Milvaganam.
Okay.
Milvaganam. David Milvaganam.
Of all
Big
of
M.
them, that's the one who needs a nickname.
Yeah.
He doesn't have one.
Yeah.
He doesn't have one. There's nothing in
Why
parentheses.
can't he
Nothing.
be Sniper?
And he goes by Milvaganam, probably. Like they call him Milvaganam, like they call him by his last name.
Jesus.
Probably.
So, however, Daniel soon threw a wrench into the plan when he texted Jennifer to tell her that he realized he still had feelings for Christine.
Oh,
that
no.
fucking Christine. Which led to the following exchange. Jennifer, so you feel for her what I feel for you? Then call it off with homeboy.
Oh.
Daniel, I thought you wanted this for you. Jennifer, I do, but I have nowhere to go. Daniel, call it off with homeboy? You said you just wanted this with or without me. Jennifer, I want it for me. Daniel, I did everything and lined it all up for you.
Wow.
These are the worst criminals I've ever seen in my life.
Yup.
This is so detailed.
Yeah.
In the end, Jennifer decided to go through with the plan.
No.
Because she did do it for her and not for a man. She doesn't need a man for anything.
Oh my God.
She's an independent murderess.
I mean, she's relying on Daniel and 3 strange men to pull this off, but
Very, very true. So, like I said, in the end, she decided to go through with the plan.
I don't need more than 4 men.
I don't need no man except for the 4 that I need to follow through with this plan of murder. On November 8th, 2010, Jennifer spent the evening watching TV in her room. Her father went to bed early and her mother was soaking her feet and reading downstairs after returning from a line dancing class. That sounds like a great
really
evening.
Sweet.
That's adorable.
Sounds
Okay.
so fun.
Her dogs
Just
were
have
barking after that line dancing class.
Yeah.
Just nuzzling up into a nice book with Fabio on the cover.
I want to fucking
amazing.
soak my feet.
Right?
Yeah, hell
great.
yeah. Don't we all? So Felix, who was now a college student studying engineering,
That's a
Or
little
was
brother.
he?
and he actually was. He's
Yep.
not. Yeah, he was not living at home. He was living at school
Okay.
because he's not a liar.
Right.
So around 10 p.m., Jennifer went downstairs and said goodnight to her mother and unlocked the front door.
Jennifer, no.
Unlocked. She then went upstairs and turned on the upstairs light study, which is
Or
which was
in their study? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
Probably
which was
the
believed to be a
upstairs study light.
Yeah.
which is believed to be a signal. Like it probably had some kind of window that you could see from the outside. It's just turn this on and it'd be like the door's unlocked.
Yep.
Uh huh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. And she spent 3 minutes talking on the phone with David Milvaganam.
Yep.
Moments later, Milvaganam, along with Crawford and Carty, entered the house carrying guns.
No, these idiots.
The men dragged Han and Bick to the basement and covered their heads in blankets.
No.
Bick was shot 3 times in the head and Han was shot in the face and shoulder.
Oh my God. I didn't think anyone would. Holy shit.
Brutally murdered, yes.
So they're dead.
Oh, yeah. After the gunmen fled, Jennifer called 911. She would later claim that she had her hands tied to a banister with shoelaces, but that she had managed to retrieve her phone from her pocket and dial. So she had again, this is where the line comes into play. And she's also somebody who lies this much is arrogant, for sure. Where she's like, these are foolproof lies. Even though I got caught in my whole college scheme.
Right.
Yep.
But she only got caught because it was graduation season. That's the only reason why. If there was no such thing as graduation, she could have kept that lie up forever in her mind. Yeah, it wasn't my fault I got found out. So she thinks this is also a brilliant plan. I told the police that I got tied up and I was able to finagle my phone out of my wallet, my pocket, and that's how I called you guys.
Yep.
As she was on the phone with the dispatcher, her father emerged from the basement. He had miraculously survived his injuries and managed to crawl upstairs. When police arrived, he was rushed to the hospital where he was put into a medically induced coma.
Oh my God.
Jennifer was brought in for questioning that night. She described how the men had burst into the house looking for money, had taken all the cash in the home, including $1,100 from her mother's nightstand and $2,500 from her own bedroom. She said that one of the men, Cardi, had remained I'm sure she didn't say that though. Had remained upstairs and tied her to the banister while the other two men took her parents down to the basement. She was released that night, but brought back in 2 days later to give another statement and to demonstrate how she had managed to use her phone despite being tied up. Because she never said she didn't say she got herself
free,
loose from the ties.
which
she
would
just
have
said
been
she got her phone
way
out somehow
smarter.
while still tied to the banister. So they're like, can you show us how are you Houdini? Are you Chris Angel, the mind freak? Please demonstrate how you were still tied to the banister but got your phone out of your pocket.
Oh, fucking get her. Get her.
Caught.
Then Han awoke from his coma 3 days later, and he claimed to remember everything, including noticing that his daughter was chatting like a friend with one of the intruders.
Oh, Han threw her under the bus.
Big time.
I mean,
I fucking would.
I know that she had a rough upbringing, and I'm not saying that these parents were great and that like that kind of pressure can definitely border on abuse. But
I think at worst these parents deserved to be ostracized and or have a real stern talking to. Maybe she goes off and lives her own life.
Right. Have her be like, fuck you guys, you were
terms.
assholes to me. I'm out of here.
Yep.
This is an extreme response to overly strict parents. This is very extreme.
I'll say.
So Jennifer was brought in for a third interview. The interrogating officer lied to her. Ooh, familiar.
Yeah.
Now the tables have turned.
How the turntables.
The interrogating officer lied to her and claimed that he already knew she had been involved in arranging that for her parents to be murdered.
Okay.
Jennifer broke down and confessed, but claimed that she had actually been trying to arrange her own suicide. Interesting turn.
Okay.
She did not have the nerve to go through with it on her own, so she had hired the hitman to kill her. But wires had gotten crossed. You know how those hitmen mishear things. Wires had gotten crossed, and they ended up killing her parents instead. This is like when, in the movies where they're like, I thought you were here to get a back surgery, and they cut off, they give you a vasectomy. It's one of those things. You got your charts. I mixed your charts up.
Yep.
Classic.
Oops.
I thought you were the other hit I was supposed to do tonight. Damn.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those, how those wires get crossed.
Yep.
So they were supposed to kill her, but they came in and accidentally killed her parents instead. In addition to Jennifer, Daniel Wong, Linford Crawford, David Milviganum, and Eric Carty were arrested as well.
Good.
Because she sang like a bird on all of them.
Yes. Of course.
Yes. The trial for Jennifer Pan and her accomplices began on March 19th, 2014. It was expected to last 6 months, but went on for nearly 10.
Dang.
Ooh.
More than 50 witnesses testified and more than 200 pieces of evidence were presented, including detailed tracking of cell phone locations and lengthy text message exchanges between Jennifer Pan and Daniel Wong, like the one I read earlier.
Yep.
Which, if you just read that one,
it gives it all away.
guilty.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted
Capital
your parents
G.
murdered for you.
Yeah.
Well, I want my parents murdered for me, but I still need you to pay them the money to do the murder.
Fucking idiots.
I will continue to broker the murder for you. But I do love Christine.
Yep.
That damn Christine.
Yes, it is what I want.
Yes. The prosecution described Pan's hatred of her parents and her obsession with Wong as motives. Ultimately, Pan, Wong, Milvignam, and Crawford were all convicted on December 13th, 2014, and each received a life sentence with no chance for parole for 25 years. Eric Carty was tried separately at a later date and was also convicted. Han and Felix requested a court order that banned Jennifer from ever contacting members of her surviving family again. And this was granted. The Jennifer Pan case sent shockwaves across Canada and the Asian diaspora and set off debates over whether she was a cold-blooded killer or an overworked kid who had cracked under the impossible pressure. Now, this is interesting because both of those things can be true.
Right.
This was the same kind of argument for the kid that shot at Virginia Tech.
Right.
You know? And it's like, he did this horrible thing, but if we care about mental health like we say we do in society these days, then you need to acknowledge that people have mental breaks. Now, how culpable that makes them or not makes them I guess that's the argument to have. But clearly Jennifer Pan had been under immense pressure since she was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And reached a breaking point of some kind.
Yeah.
Now, was it an overcorrection? Definitely.
Yeah.
But it was a factor in the overcorrection was the way she was treated by her parents.
Well, and there's something to be said for how, like, if you're lying so much for that long, your understanding of what's reality and what's not can start to get really blurry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the stakes.
Yeah.
And if the only time she was really caught, she could sort of explain away with, oh, well, it was situational, you know? In her mind, she doesn't get caught.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's just, it gives her sort of giving herself permission to just do whatever the fuck.
Exactly. It's an extreme version of, there's that kid, his name's Eric something, that redhead kid with the glasses, where he was playing baseball with his neighbor and he hit her with the baseball and then she was hurt and his parents were very strict and he was scared of his parents. So he smothered her and then hit her under the bed. And it was all because he didn't want to get in trouble.
Right.
It was all the programming of, my parents are strict. I don't want to have to deal with these problems. I don't want to get punished. I don't want to get a whooping or whatever. And an 8-year-old kid or 10 or something, he was under 12, hit a body, helped them look for the kid. Like the extreme lengths you go through out of the fear of consequences.
We're capable of some fucked up shit.
For sure.
And when you think that the most intense consequence is going to be that of your parents, rather than I don't know, life in prison.
Right.
Taking someone else's life.
Listen,
Yeah,
a stern talking to from a parent can, in the moment, can seem
feel
like way worse than prison.
Especially if they're not mad, they're just disappointed.
Let's not
God,
do that.
What is it about that?
Hate
It's
it.
horrible.
It's bad.
God, just the indifference of like, no, I just thought you were better than that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Ow.
it's worse.
Hurts.
Oh God. Okay. Jennifer is still serving her sentence at a women's prison in Ontario. Her brother Felix moved away from Toronto to escape the gossip about his family and works for a private technology company, or at least he says he does. I don't know if those lies run in the family. Han was never able to return to work and suffers from constant pain from his injuries, as well as anxiety attacks and insomnia. He moved in with relatives nearby to avoid returning to the house where his wife was murdered. And he was unable to find a buyer for the house.
Oh, God. So now he's in financial.
He's still paying a mortgage on a house he can't bear to go into.
Yeah.
He has stated that he has given up all his previous hobbies, such as gardening, working on cars, and listening to music.
Sad Han.
Yeah, sad Han. As none of them bring him joy anymore.
Oh.
So thanks, Kenya. That's the end of it. That's how it ends.
She is awful.
That was a really dark end to that. I feel really...
Sounds about right.
That was it. He no longer finds joy in music. The end.
Well, let's hear a word from us. Oh, that's awful. I mean,
man.
Yeah.
Man, paying mortgage on a house you can't bear to go into anymore. What a heartbreaking scene.
Might be the
Salt
worst.
in the wound.
In this market, that might be the worst part.
Yep.
Of this whole case. Well,
so yes, that was the story of Jennifer Pan and her elaborate plan, not so elaborate, her plan to murder her parents. for Daniel Wong.
Yep.
Well, God. Well, we've all been in love with a drug dealer before.
We have. Can confirm.
Candidates.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, Alvin.
Nice job, Alvin.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right, let's take a quick.
Oh, God, yes.
Let's take a quick break, and then we will come back and get to my case and
Sounds
wrap
good.
this sucker up. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. You can skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit.
I love HelloFresh. I want to
You
shout
do.
it from the rooftops.
But Daddy, I love him.
I do. I love him or her or they or neither. So now more than ever, we're all looking for ways to save some money. In fact, HelloFresh is 25% less expensive than takeout and is even cheaper than grocery shopping too. And guess what? With these pre-portioned ingredients, you're not wasting a ton of food.
Yeah.
That gives me such anxiety. I absolutely hate it.
I know.
So HelloFresh is just here to make my life so much easier.
It's the move.
Also, you can easily customize your meals with Hello Custom by swapping out proteins or sides. You can upgrade your choice proteins. So if you want to go from like meat and veggies to more like pescatarian kind of things.
Yes.
Or if you just want to cut out meat altogether. The other day I made smashed black bean tacos.
Yum.
You heard that right. Yeah. So you also make this like creamy slaw. It's got pickled onions in it. It has this like red pepper crema. It is like, It was the best.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh,
But then put some cheese on top, some cilantro.
I love it.
Also, HelloFresh works with your schedule. Their plans are flexible and you can change your meal preferences, update your delivery day, and even change your address with just a few taps on the HelloFresh app. So don't be afraid of this subscription. This is actually going to be the best thing that has ever happened to your dining table.
Seriously. So go to HelloFresh.com/gals16. That's GALS16. And use that code GALS16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. Y'all, this is a huge offer. So one more time, go to HelloFresh.com/gals16 and use code GALS16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. And treat your kitchen. Treat it. So we're supposed to go to the OBGYN once a year for our annual checkups, and shout out to my OB. She gives a great pap. Very impressive. But checking in with our fertility is not usually a thing until we're like trying to have kids or trying to, make long-term plans for not having kids. It's just like not something you really think about until you have to think about it.
And then once you do, it might be like kind of
Way more
overwhelming. Yeah.
than you thought it would be. So let Modern Fertility help you out, okay? Let them help you.
Yes, let it work. That is exactly why Modern Fertility was created. It's an easy and affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home with a simple finger prick. You just mail it in with a prepaid label and you'll get your personalized results within 10 days. It is remarkably fast. So when you get your results, you'll get to see insight into your hormone levels, your ovarian reserve. So it's like how many eggs you have compared to other people with an ovarian reserve.
That's a big one.
Yeah, you kind of want to know how you're sitting,
Kinda.
Yeah, and also just other important fertility factors. There's seriously so much information. These results go deep into what every hormone means, and you can also download these results to review with your doctor for next steps. Traditional testing could cost over $1,000. No, thank you.
Ugh.
But Modern Fertility gets you the exact same information at a fraction of the price. And if you go to modernfertility.com/gals, you can get $20 off your tests. Also, if you have an HSA or FSA, you can put those dollars toward Modern Fertility. Found money. I love an HSA.
Yeah,
So-
it's a no-brainer.
If you want kids today or maybe one day in the future, or you're just curious about your own body, clinically sound information can help you make the right decision for you.
Honestly, I am not planning on having children, and I've done these kits just to get an idea of my hormone levels and like what I'm working with. It's important to know no matter what.
Yeah.
And right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/gals. That means your test will cost $179 instead of the hundreds or thousands it could cost at a doctor's office. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/gals. One more time, modernfertility.com/gals, and treat your knowledge.
Trade it. Wearing a bra in general when it's hot and humid and sticky outside is not ideal.
It's the worst.
It's even less ideal when said bra doesn't make your boobs look amazing.
Yeah, your
as they
boobs look
should.
like crap, and your bra material doesn't breathe, so it's just like 2 cups of hot soup holding your boobs
my
in.
Lord. Well, that painted a picture.
Sure did.
So the right bra can take your summer fit to the next level, whether it's the material, the fit, the shape. It can change the game. So upgrade your summer top drawer with a Third Love bra for every occasion, such as their best-selling 24/7 t-shirt bra, form, wireless, unlined, and strapless styles.
Ugh, love.
I will never go back to wired bras.
No, seriously.
Summer or winter.
Yeah.
And Third Love offers so many wireless bras. It's amazing. So these new limited edition styles and colors work with any outfit, so your boobs will always look their best. And
I am obsessed with that t-shirt bra.
Oh,
Obsessed with it.
Yeah. I like the plunge, the V plunge one too. And as we all know, I got 2 different sizes of boobs.
Yep.
I'm working with not identical twins here.
Yeah, they're sisters, not twins.
Yes. And Third Love offers so many different styles that I prefer the ones with the removable cups underneath so that I can put both of them on my small side, if I'm being honest. And then they look nice and symmetrical. And like I said, this fabric is just so breathable. It's just the ultimate in comfort.
It's seriously the best. And the 24/7 Classic t-shirt bra, this is their #1 best-selling bra, and it's like that for a reason. This puppy forms to your body to make your boobs look their best. Plus, the straps won't slip. There's no pinching or digging or like... Something that always happens to me is the clasp in the back will get like blasted out because I was not buying good quality bras. And then it just like... You take your bra off at the end of the day and your back is covered in like deep scratches and you're like, how did I just put up with that all day?
I know.
Like literally how?
We're so used to it, we just don't even
don't
feel
even think
pain
about
anymore.
It. Seriously. And they literally invented half cups, like Lucy says, so you can always get the right fit. And this bra, and I believe all of their bras come in sizes A through H and, like Lucy mentioned, Third Love's exclusive half cup sizes. And if you are just completely lost in the world of your boobs right now, take the fitting room quiz. Your bra size can change 6 or more times throughout your life. So you might think that you have a solid grasp on what size your boobas are. You might be wrong.
You're probably wrong.
You're like, those odds are high that you're wrong. So Third Love makes it easy to find a bra that actually fits with their fitting room quiz. The fitting room quiz is like a personal shopper, but it's better because it focuses on size. It focuses on breast shape, which is something that always gets skipped over when you go to like a big box store, a big boob box store. It focuses on current fit issues. Maybe you've got spillage. Maybe you've got cup gapping. Maybe your straps are slipping. Maybe, you got all kinds of issues. And your style that you prefer to find bras that are perfect for you. And the fitting room quiz has helped 18 million boob havers find their true bra size. So you're next, baby.
Yeah, your number's up. Feeling is believing. Give your boobs the 24/7 comfort and support you deserve. Upgrade your bra today and get 20% off your first order at thirdlove.com/gals, GALS. That's 20% off at thirdlove.com/gals, and treat your boobies.
Treat them. Mine is also sad. So here we go.
Great.
Awesome.
Our story takes place in the 90s in the Carolinas.
Beautiful.
On May 13th, 1998, the body of a woman was found like discarded on the side of like a frontage road that ran alongside Interstate 85 in Spartanburg, South Carolina. The woman was Asian. She was in her early to mid 40s, and she was clearly a victim of homicide. Her wrists and ankles had been bound, though the bindings had either been removed or simply like broken away. But ligature marks remained, and that's how they could determine that. And an autopsy determined that her cause of death was suffocation, possibly by strangulation, but they knew that like they could, even if they couldn't tell if it was strangulation or like another means of suffocation, she couldn't breathe, and that's how she died.
Okay.
So composite sketches of her were released, but she didn't match anybody in any missing persons database that would be like in that time frame with her time of death. And nobody called in with information about her, and the case just went cold. 5 months later, and 200 miles away, under a billboard along the same Interstate 85 in Mebane, North Carolina. So we were in South Carolina, now we're in North Carolina.
Mebane.
A landscaping crew was hard at work cutting the grass around and beneath a big billboard that was like right off the highway. In an absolute shock to the crew, the remains of a young boy were found in the tall grass. The remains were badly decomposed. Like there was one article where one of the guys on the crew said he only noticed it because like the sun reflected off of the skull.
Oh wow!
Of this,
Oh,
This is
wow.
like
child.
the skull.
Yeah.
Oh,
like the
wow.
exposed, kind of sun dried skull.
He
of
was
this
there for a
child.
while.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
The grass was tall. Yeah, they were there
Yep.
to cut the grass down. Wow.
Yeah. So this is September. So the child had been deceased, they figured, for like the better part of maybe not the year, but like at least a couple months.
Yeah. So through the summer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like the North Carolina sun had sped up decomposition. And so it was like he could have passed away or been killed 2 months ago or like 7 or 8 months ago. And it would kind of be the same spot that we're in now because of that direct sunlight.
Yeah.
This detail is like not one that I'm including just to be macabre, but to like establish the challenge that investigators had in front of them because it's 1998 and they need to identify this boy.
Yeah.
So this is from Wikipedia. Quote, the child was wearing khaki shorts, white socks and matching underwear, and black and white shoes that appeared to have been purchased recently. His shorts pocket was found to contain $50. The child had straight dark brown hair, about 3 to 4 inches in length, likely had a light brown to fair complexion, and likely had brown eyes. The boy was initially thought to have been Hispanic and possibly a migrant worker or the child of a migrant worker. The boy had no fillings in his teeth, but he did have preventative dental sealing in multiple teeth, as well as a slight overbite with erupting upper canines, which I totally had as a kid, which may have been noticeable when he smiled or spoke. The boy likely died during the spring or summer of 1998. End quote. So autopsy results determined that the boy had been the victim of a homicide and that the cause of death was strangulation. As with the woman in South Carolina, sketches were circulated and they used the information they had to cross-check missing children's cases, but came up empty. Like no missing child was a match for this kid.
Well, they probably also have such a broad window, like you said, because of they can't really tell how long
Right.
when the decomposition could have happened. So,
So they're
7
just
to
looking
2
at-
months, you know.
Right. They're looking at like a fuck ton of cases and they're not seeing anything
That matches.
that matches.
That's wild. So that just indicates that it was not reported.
Right. And not knowing that these two cases, like the case of the woman in South Carolina and the boy in North Carolina, were at all related. It's different states, different investigators. There are no leads for either of them. And the boy's case went cold as well. The nameless boy would be referred to for years as the boy under the billboard,
Oh.
which just broke my fucking heart.
Yeah.
So, as in many missing persons cases or unidentified remains cases, the discovery of the child received much wider attention than the discovery of the woman months prior. Not only were sketches of the child made, but estimations of like parents were sketched. Like this kid might look like this, and that means their parents might look like this. Like they were trying fucking anything in the hopes of like sparking somebody's memory. The case was also taken on by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, who used their team of experts to create multiple reconstructions with the still kind of like in its infancy, but expanding CGI technology that was available in the late 90s, early 2000s. The remains were also tested using forensic palynology, which is studying pollen and spores found on or even like in the lungs of a victim to determine places that they've been prior to their death.
It's like forensic botany.
Yep. They also use isotope analysis, which, as we know, puts cats in wigs, and that tells you like where they may have been located for extended periods of time or where they had been born. So these forensic analyses suggested that the child was originally from the United States, specifically Alabama or Georgia, and this gave investigators more of a targeted area to find leads, holding out hope that someone in these states would recognize the sketches or the CGI renderings, but still nothing. 20 years goes by. Not a single lead.
God.
20 fucking years. So it's 2018 now. Technology had advanced considerably in that time. So in 2018, the case of the child was looked at more closely. Genetic testing provided some hitherto unknown details. It wasn't like his DNA was being matched against other people, but they were almost doing like a 23andMe ancestry so that they can update their sketches of this child because they may have been sketching like a completely different, skin tone,
So
facial
are you saying they
features.
used it to try to find people that were related to him in some kind of way?
Eventually, yes, but initially it was just to figure out like what is this boy's heritage, essentially.
Yeah.
Got it. So
So,
they
like,
could
you
like
can see if-
hair color and things like that.
Yup.
Okay, got
Or
okay,
like,
got it.
Exactly.
maybe they're of Asian descent or Hispanic
Exactly.
or whatever.
So they had originally thought that the little boy was Hispanic, but this was not the case. And they found this out in the ancestry DNA that he was a biracial child of European and East Asian parentage.
Oh, wow.
So further examination of the remains under a more technologically advanced lens determined the time of death to be during June or July of 1998. So that meant the boy had been laying unnoticed under the billboard for like just over 2 months.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
hot,
In the hot
sweltering
summer.
Wow.
Yep.
Yikes.
Around the time they released more information on this case, another famous case was cracked that gave investigators an idea. That case, of course, is the Golden State Killer case, which used familial DNA to identify that fucking rat, Joseph D'Angelo.
Yes.
So investigators took this opportunity to run the boy under the billboard through their DNA database and pray that some family member had submitted their results to like the GEDmatch database. So Barbara Ray Venter, who is a forensic scientist who was essential in the DNA identification of Joseph D'Angelo, took on this little boy's case. She was able to track down a familial DNA match to a first cousin, a young woman named Natalie Mosteller. Natalie had spent the last 20 years trying to reconnect with the cousin that she had grown up with. She was the oldest of 3 girls, and Natalie had grown up in Ohio near where her cousin lived, and the two had become like siblings.
So her
She
cousin,
considered-
meaning the boy.
Yep, the one who matched the DNA, and she hadn't seen him in over 20 years. Yep. She considered him the little brother that she never had. She recalls that when her aunt and uncle, her little cousin's parents, encountered problems in their marriage, her aunt had decided to divorce him and return to her home of South Korea with her son. Or so the family had been told.
Oh.
Family secrets.
Yep.
Family secrets.
So Natalie had been all over Facebook and other social media entering her cousin's name in the hopes that they could reconnect, thinking that he had just moved to South Korea with his mom, and that's why they hadn't seen him. So she even went as far as to hire a private investigator. She said, quote, "It was nagging in the back of my head once Bobby," that was her cousin's name, and we'll get to all of the names, "would have come of age that he didn't try to reach out to us," she said. "Any attempts that I made on Facebook to try and find him, they didn't come up with anything." End quote. But in her worst case scenario, like family in South Korea had maybe like turned him and her aunt against the family in America because of what had gone down in the marriage. And so she was like, I just figured this was why I was never able to find him online. And she was completely unprepared for the truth behind their disappearance.
Of course.
So the little boy was identified as Robert or Bobby Witt. Born in Michigan in January of 1988, Bobby was the son of Natalie's uncle, a Caucasian male named John Russell Witt, and his wife, a Korean woman named Myung Hwa Cho. Natalie recalled Bobby as a sweet boy who loved playing video games and air hockey. Quote, he had an air hockey table in his bedroom, she said.
What?
Yeah, such a cool kid.
That is a flex.
Air hockey.
I know. Air hockey table in his bedroom.
That's nuts.
That's like a
I
2-car
love
garage
it.
with an ice fridge.
That's
Hell yeah.
beyond.
It's so good.
Anti-gravity game in your
Yeah,
room?
in your room. Yeah, that's amazing. Alvin's mind just
He
exploded.
probably had a gumball machine too. What's
Oh,
next?
man.
Locked. Ugh, this kid deserved all the gumballs, whatever he
Yeah.
wanted. Natalie's mother, Barbara, also had loving memories of time with her nephew, Bobby. She said, Bobby was a very brilliant little boy, and he was funny. He had a real dry sense of humor. Mayong was also funny and fun. Literally, I'm going to have to say, probably the hardest working person that I've ever known in my life. So they really loved, like, Mayong and Bobby.
Yeah.
The family very much got along.
There were no issues.
I love
Right.
a funny kid.
I know. So,
I love air hockey.
Natalie and Barbara were extremely sad when in 1998, the Witts moved back to North Carolina. They were all living together in Ohio. She was seeing that they were over at each other's houses all the time. Now the family's moving away. They're devastated. Mayong and John had originally met while John was in the Air Force and serving in South Korea. And they wed after a short time, possibly because Mayong had become pregnant with Bobby. But I can't confirm that.
Sure.
And she moved with him to the United States to get married and raise their child together. First, they were living in Ohio near their family. Then they returned to North Carolina. But about 10 years into their marriage, John started having an affair. Rather than fucking getting divorced,
Yes.
which is
Just
arguably the best option.
Just
Yeah.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just do that.
Just do that. He decided to eliminate his wife entirely so that he could get on with his new life.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's crazy how often this is the way that a lot of these stories play out. And they're like,
Yep.
well, I'm having an affair, and if I could kill my current
Yep.
family, then that'll make space for my new plans. It's like,
Right.
It'll
Just
be easier
get-
for
just
me.
get divorced.
Well, and
man.
he started out just killing her. And then his mistress moved into his house shortly after he killed Mayong. But allegedly, the mistress didn't get along with little Bobby.
Jesus.
So one night in July of 1998, John took Bobby for a drive,
This is his own son.
his own son.
Jesus.
According to court records, quote, he requested that Bobby get in the back seat and told him they were going to play a game. He told him to lie down with his eyes closed. At that time, he crawled into the back seat, got on top of Bobby, and suffocated him with a towel.
Oh my God. That's probably exactly what he did. Well, not exactly, but
It's some like Chris Watts fucking shit.
Big time.
it's
big
bizarre
time.
that
Literal
like, there's
family
so
annihilator.
much time between these two because that's
Yeah.
not usually the case.
Yeah, like 5 months or
Like
something.
tried to
Wow.
live a new life with his
Yep.
new girlfriend and the kid.
Yep.
Who was like
And-
10.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was
10
probably
years
like,
old.
where the fuck is my mom?
Mm-hmm.
And the idea that you'd be like, a woman would come there or any person would come there and be like, this kid is annoying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can he go? Like, what?
Well,
Can you like
And so like that's exactly what happened. Like the mistress comes in, this kid's annoying, let's get him out of here. So John told her that he had taken Bobby
Oh,
to the
stop
airport to put him on a plane and send him to South Korea to be reunited with his mom. Since he wasn't getting along with his new flame, he was like, oh, I can handle this. I'll take him to the airport. His mom moved back to South Korea with family.
Oh, he
I'll
told her
send
that
him
too?
there. Oh yeah, he told
Oh.
everyone in the family, everyone that
And the
she had moved to
including
South
she
the
Korea.
mistress.
she abandoned her
left
son.
her son. Yep, with them. Then all of a sudden, Bobby's gone. Oh well, Bobby and Mayong are now reunited in South Korea. They don't want anything to do with me or us, so they're
That
gone.
is
So nobody
awful.
filed a missing persons report for either of them. No, like
They're in
they
another
just-
country now.
Yeah,
They're
they
gone.
just took him at his word.
God.
Yep.
And
And-
she was originally from South Korea, right?
Yes.
So it was like that.
it's believable that she has
She's, like,
family
went
there.
home.
Like
A dual citizen in some kind of way.
exactly.
And this is like 98, you said, right? So there's
98.
no Google. It's just like
Nope.
people are, if you said somebody moved to another country in 1998, it's like, well,
You
then
either believe
bon
it
voyage.
or-
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, bye. You're
Yeah, wow.
impossibly far away now.
Exactly.
We don't have any communication.
And this fucking guy didn't even get like a whole bunch of freedom after his heinous fucking murders because he landed himself in jail after multiple armed robbery attempts in 1999.
What a fucking idiot.
Like so many of them. I think he had like robbed 6 banks and then like threatened violence with a deadly weapon on like 2 or 3 people. So he was sentenced to 20 plus years at a federal prison So he like and they still have no idea that he is also a murderer. So he's in jail.
God.
They have no clue. So like at least this made tracking him down to add additional charges of murder very easy because he was already in jail when the 20 years after these crimes were committed, he was still sitting there.
Easy to find. Well, listen, clearly they were living a very high-end lifestyle. I mean, an air hockey table in home.
Mm-hmm.
They were living above their means for sure. So actually now when I think about it that way, I'm not surprised that he was robbing banks. You know, who knows what else they were doing? They probably had like
1,000%.
a Slurpee machine, things that people don't. You're not supposed to have in your home.
Well, and Meiomi, as Barbara remembers her, is the most hardworking person she'd ever met. Maybe Meiomi is the breadwinner. Maybe she's working and now she's gone.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, it's just,
he thought he could do it without her.
Yep.
And he was so wrong.
That's speculation, but maybe.
Alternatively, if he was robbing banks to provide for the family previously, similar to Alvin's case, he got away with it. Might as well keep doing it.
Yeah.
Might as well.
There are no repercussions. And that might be why he killed these people too. It's like, breaking the law.
He didn't start robbing banks until after he had already murdered his wife and child.
Do we know that?
And then yes, we do know that. And then he was out robbing banks because he went to jail like within the year of him killing his wife and child. He went to jail for this. So maybe he had started robbing banks before he killed them, but like either way, he was consistently robbing banks
after she was gone.
Yeah, after she was gone.
I'd also be willing to bet he was doing something to break the law before that. You don't just pop off with homicide of your wife and son.
But
I mean, this fucking guy's a gem.
Yeah.
So
as a man, I can attest, before we move on, I can attest to the idea that a dude would be like, this girl's so annoying. I mean, I could do so much better without her. I mean, the bills just get paid on their own.
Right?
And everything runs fine here.
Good.
It'll just keep running that way when I get her out of my life. And then she's gone. And it's like,
guess I'm a bank robber now.
Why is the house being foreclosed on? I don't understand. It's like, so I could understand.
Where did all the magic money go?
It's like,
a lot of foresight.
So in 2020, John Witt pled guilty to 2 counts each of second-degree murder and concealing a death. He was sentenced to 26 to 32 years for each murder, to be served consecutively after he completes a stint in federal prison for robbery that won't wrap up until 2037. So he's going to die in prison.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. His family had been absolutely blindsided by the secret that he had been keeping. So like Barbara's his sister and Natalie is his niece, and like they had a relationship.
Yeah.
Like
they were looking for him.
They didn't have. Well, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't, and they didn't have much of a relationship after he went to prison for the armed robbery stuff, but like they were very close growing up.
Yeah.
They still have a hard time wrapping their heads around this, as all of their memories of John and Bobby were also happy ones. Natalie described Bobby as John's, quote, little sidekick, and said the family thought the two were super close. She said, quote, my uncle did have a really close relationship with his son, we thought. That was his little sidekick. They did everything together. All outward appearances, they seemed to be a normal family, a normal, loving family. They seemed like everything was okay. There was nothing that would make us think that there was a problem.
Ugh.
So when he opened up about the issues in his marriage, or like planted seeds about the issues in his marriage, and said that Meiomi and Bobby were going to Korea, they took him at his word and really had no way to follow up, like you mentioned earlier, Alvin. Natalie says, quote, how were you supposed to find someone in South Korea in the late 1990s and early 2000s?
Yeah.
We had no reason not to believe him. So she believes after seeing her uncle brought to justice that he has no remorse for his crimes, although he claims otherwise. At his sentencing, he said he was haunted by these killings and that he still loved his wife and son. He also claimed that he had made an attempt on his own life in prison in 2001 because of his guilt. But as far as I read, this wasn't corroborated, so who knows? But I'll finish this out with Natalie's words, who never gave up on finding her cousin. Quote, all that effort that we put forth to try and find them, it made it seem like it wasn't for nothing. Because frankly, if she hadn't put the pieces together with this investigator through the DNA,
it would never been solved.
We may have never connected the mom even.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many missing pieces that the family was able to be like, yeah, that's my cousin. They've been missing since this time.
And maybe she submitted her DNA for the genealogy stuff.
I think she did.
In order to find them also.
I think she did, because they're first cousins. They are blood related. Like, obviously, that's how this case got solved. I just think she's so fucking awesome, and I really feel for her. She says, I'm glad that my family has closure. I'm glad that the entire investigative team that has worked on these cases for the last 20 years finally have some closure. I'm glad that my cousin and my aunt finally have a name and that they're going to be reunited and brought home.
Not the boy
which they
under
were.
the billboard.
Yeah, they both were cremated, and then the family was able to have like an actual funeral, burial, and like really start their
Closure.
process
Grieving
of moving
yeah.
forward. Yeah.
They thought they just lost touch with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now they're dead, and they've been dead.
And they've been dead for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. She continues to say, I am thankful for everyone who has worked on this and who has made it possible for us to finally bring Bobby back home and give us some closure. Our hearts are broken into a million pieces. We had no idea that Bobby and Meiomi were no longer with us and had not been for a very long time.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
Isn't that fucking heartbreaking?
Yeah.
That's so fucking. Either of you guys seen Lion?
Yes.
And Dev Patel's looking for Gadoo the whole movie, and then
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Oh, then never mind. Don't worry about it. But
forget
Amanda,
about it.
Yeah.
You know.
But your heart, just rip it out. Just rip it out. Just rip it out. You're not going to need it anymore.
it's oh my god. But it's it's so interesting. Like we live in such a cool time in regards to this story where Chris Watts is such a good example to bring up because when there's the family saying, "Oh, he was his little sidekick and stuff," but if you had home video and you have like a behavioral analysis, watch that video. Like Chris Watts. Everybody's like, "Oh, he seemed like the perfect dad," and then you have somebody go back and watch footage of him just being like,
the cracks.
"I don't know, I don't know where the Christmas lights are." And you're like, "This guy was miserable the whole time."
Totally disconnected.
It's like,
You'd have to be to kill your own child.
exactly. So it's like it's crazy how you just assume somebody's like you're just like they're a family, so of course he loves his kids. And I
Right.
remember he dressed up like Santa Claus and we spent Christmas together and stuff. But you don't if you could go back and like watch that moment. Like you can today because everything's filmed.
You literally never know what's happening behind closed doors.
Exactly.
You just don't. Unless you have access to an indoor fucking camera.
Yes.
Which now do I need to set up cameras all over my house?
Because your brain will just like connect the dots. You'll be like, yes, it's Easter. We hired an Easter bunny for the day. Like there's kids here. Of course the parents are happy to see their
Everyone's
kids.
happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You go back and look. It's like, yes. So yeah, this guy probably never wanted this. He probably always wanted out.
It just reiterates what I always say now. Just never meet a man.
No,
Yeah.
never.
No,
It's just,
agreed.
it's not worth it.
No.
It's not worth it.
Agreed. I agree.
As someone engaged to a man,
It's
Never meet
risky.
him.
Never meet him. Never meet him.
it's a risk. I'm really rolling the dice.
Also,
I don't
like,
do it.
don't just get married because your partner falls pregnant.
Right.
Not a
That-
great
These are
idea.
different-
Also,
you know,
if you're
different
considering
times,
homicide
different
to get out of a
cultures.
relationship,
yes.
just
leave.
get a divorce.
If you're
Just leave.
considering homicide, please consider
There are
divorce.
Just
always
leave.
better options.
Just leave. Just leave.
Wow.
And with that, special thanks to Abby Townsend for picking this topic because it was extremely fascinating.
Yeah, wild.
Well done, Abby.
And also special thanks to Alvin Williams of Affirmative Murder podcast for stepping in literally at the last
Guys.
minute when it's like,
Like last night.
Yeah.
someone is hospitalized. We need help.
You guys stop it. Also, let me just say, Kenyon, in your stead, I hope that I made you proud. I felt your spirit within me, and all prayers and well wishes to her on her journey.
Absolutely.
Tell them where
Absolutely.
they can find Affirmative Murder.
Oh, you can find Affirmative Murder wherever you listen to podcasts. It is me and my friend since we were 12 in our youth. We do a true crime podcast that discusses cases that might not get as much spotlight in marginalized communities and things like that. And we tell jokes. We talk about the impossible chicken from KFC and all kinds of current events and things like that. So yeah, check us out wherever you are listening to podcasts.
Great show. All right.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Thanks, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Kala Yip, music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell, editing by Jonathan Camp. Check out our website and blog at wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wine and Crime Pod. If you have questions, answers, or recommendations to share, email us at wineandcrimepodcast@gmail.com. Episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, basically wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And if you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. It is the best way to spread the word. If you'd like to show your support, visit our Patreon page to keep this podcast and the wine flowing. Cheers.